You guys were just outside of the hideout, having defeated all of the spooky, scary dwarves, and
Goblins.
or goblins. Sorry, I was looking at.
Spoilers for later on when we go to
Spoilers. Spooky, scary dwarves.
And you rescued Sildar, who is currently very injured, but walking, and he just picked up a goblin sword, so he's got that. And right now you guys are just sitting by the side of the river. So what do you want to do?
I wanted to ask you actually from before. Could I have picked up my javelins on the way out?
Yeah, I'll say you did.
Okay. Yeah, because I forgot about that at the time.
Javelins are and I'm gonna say javelins are different than like arrows, where you only get half. For javelin, it's pretty easy to find it, especially when it's something like this.
And sometimes arrows are
I'll tell you
after.
Well, break or lost.
Yeah,
but javelin, I'll tell you if you lost a javelin. Like if you roll a 1 and you're near like a river, maybe it goes into the river. But I'll tell you when that happens.
If I roll a 1 and it goes and I fucking toss a javelin, that shit goes into my shin.
That would be actually impressive.
Toss it at my foot.
Yeah, anyways, but yeah, so
okay, cool. So I have 6 javelins again, I think.
Yeah.
Maybe.
You should just have because you picked up 2, I think. Yeah. So.
Oh, I have a note.
What do you guys want to do? You always had that. You just didn't know it.
I'm gonna put a note in my note.
We should probably. I don't know if we should go
So just to remind you, because it's been like a week, you got the oxen tied up kind of by the side of the road.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like we should probably go back and see if they're all.
We gotta go back to Phandelver.
Phandalin. Leah remembers the path pretty well. She's pretty used to following tracks in the forest, so she should be able to get back there with no problem.
Outlander hype.
We should probably camp out with the oxen, if anything.
I mean, it's like as you kind of exit the cave. You exit the cave. I mean, the sun is kind of just coming, is kind of right in the peak of its things. It's about midday now.
Yeah, so we should probably head back instead of just fall asleep right here.
Yeah, and Sildar tells you that he's pretty excited to get back because he has a favorite tavern in town, and he's excited to be able to rest there.
In Phandalin?
Yeah.
What a bitch. Favorite tavern. All right, so yeah, let's head back to the oxen real quick. Can we rest while we travel? Can we shifts and all that stuff? One guy drives and then everyone else rests. I mean,
Sildar kind of hears you talking about that, and he says it's only like 15 minutes from here.
Oh, okay. I don't know where we are.
Yeah, no, you guys wouldn't have known that. But yeah, so he's like, no,
Cragma hideout.
We're north of Neverwinter as far as my map skills go.
Yeah, he says
north.
At best with an oxen and stuff, it'll take you guys an hour.
Oh, okay, all right, then let's go. I mean, I can still rest. I can recover hit points on the way, just in case.
No.
No. No. Okay, we're on our way.
So what's your marching order? Someone driving the wagon, or I guess walking back down the path. How are you guys doing that?
Well, originally I think I was the one driving the wagon, so I might as well sit back.
Yeah, it doesn't require anything.
I'm doing like a lazy thing where it's like I'm laying down along the seat and kind of just have the thing for the oxen laying on my belly.
Scared the fuck out of me. So
music.
I tried to keep it low so it wouldn't. Anyway, so yeah,
it scared the shit out of me.
So you guys you're walking along the trail. You come to the pit where where Evan almost fell in, but was able to leap out of harm's way and kind of climb out. He also remembers the snare trap, so you guys make your way around that, no problem. And you come back and you see the oxen in the little clearing that you left in, and you notice there's water and food there, and so they're eating that, and it looks, and there's a note attached to the side of the cart.
All right, can I go ahead and read that bitch?
Yeah, sure. So you come up, the note just says it's signed by someone you don't know, and it just says notice that the oxen were very thirsty, left some food, and just to make sure they didn't starve. So obviously someone passing by saw the oxen. And
is there a name on the note, the one that they signed, it's signed by someone, so what is
it's really hard to make out, but if you looking closer you see that it looks like someone named Tolbin.
Who? Tolbin?
Toblen.
Blen. Toblin.
Yeah. So you guys make it back. Do you want to just head straight to Phandalin?
Yeah. Let's just head right back. Right over to Phandalin.
Like Sildar said, it takes about an hour.
Right.
Pretty uneventful. It's midday. You pass a few people on the road. Coming and going from Phandalin. But yeah, pretty uneventful.
When we asked, with the people that passed by, can I ask them like how Phandalin's doing and all that stuff? Like, could we have that conversation? Or did they just like pass right by?
I mean, most of them, are kind of intent on getting to their destination. There's you pass by one person kind of walking next to a donkey who doesn't seem to be in any hurry, and you kind of flag her down, and she says, well, it's doing a lot better than it used to be. And you remember that Phandalin, what used to be a bustling town because of the mines nearby, and but then it was sacked by orcs, and so just recently people have been kind of rebuilding it, and the entire town is actually built inside kind of the bones of the old town.
Okay.
Yeah. But she says, my feet hurt, but that's the only complaint I have.
All right, cool. So on our way.
Yeah. So, you guys have, you're arriving in Phandalin. The rutted track kind of emerges from a wooded hillside that you were walking down, and up ahead of you stretches the town. You see about 40 or 50 pretty simple log buildings. Some of them are built on what looks to be old stone foundations, and old ruins, crumbling stone walls covered in ivy and briars surround the newer houses and shops. So that's obviously, it used to be a much larger town kind of in the past century, but it's all very crumbling. Most of the newer buildings are set into the sides of the cart track that you're coming down now, which kind of widens into a muddy main street of sorts, and you see in the distance it climbs towards a manor in the distance, on the east side of town. And as you approach, you see children playing in the town, in the green, and townsfolk tending to chores or running errands at shops. People look up to you when they look up as you pass, but they all just kind of go back to their business when they see you. Looking over to Sildar, who's riding in the cart, he looks a lot more relaxed. He was kind of tense, after being capped with the goblins. And he turns to you, Leah, who's driving the cart, and he says, "My friends, let us secure lodgings. I'm told the local inn is very quaint." And he kind of hops off the cart and rushes ahead to. He says, "Meet me in the Stonehill Inn." Yeah, which is that right here. So he's he's off.
He just said some stuff and left.
Yeah, well,
didn't wait for a response.
Once he showed up in town, he was obviously really excited, and he mentioned earlier he's looking for his friend Yarno. So he kind of you kind of hear him as he's running.
Yarno, that wizard man.
So we came from here?
Nope, you came from the north here. And you came down that path.
Right. Yeah. Okay, so we came down here, and then we saw the manor over here. Okay.
Yeah. So
we
this
go
path.
to the Townmaster's hall to request a reward for killing all the goblins and.
To the you want to go to the Townmaster's hall?
What?
Yeah,
that sleeping giant. The sleeping giant looks like a tavern.
Yeah, so I guess while he runs off to the Townmaster's hall, I'm gonna tie up the oxen and stuff right by the Stonehill Inn. They have a thing for that, right?
Just to remind you, your job is to kind of deliver those oxen.
Oh yeah. We gotta go to that.
Are we delivering it to the hall? Because we were supposed to take it.
No, not the hall. There's like a guy here. There's a trading.
Yeah, that's why.
Post.
Yeah, you're taking it to. You're given his name. His name is Elmar Barthen, and he owns. The trading post in Phandalin, and he's the one waiting for you to deliver the supplies to Barthen's.
Barthen's.
We should be able to see.
We
should see a blue shield lion next to his building.
Yeah. Right. So, Kat, you want to run off and try to get money from the town?
He's already gone. He's already arguing with the mayor.
All right. Well, before the Cat run, we'll do. But let's do you guys walking into Barthen's. You see, there's a pretty.
It's a cutscene.
It looks it looks like it's made for oxen to be tied up. He obviously gets a lot of deliveries here.
Right.
So you tie them up there, and he's got a couple of helpers that come out, and they see the wagon, and they start unhitching the ox and stuff like that. So then you make your way into the main shop, and Barthen's there behind the counter, and he greets you, and he says, "What can I do for you?"
Take these boxes. Get them. Go get them.
He turns and he sees the oxen, and he goes, "Oh, you must be the adventurers that Gundren hired. Here, and he reaches behind the desk, and he pulls out a purse and you can hear the coins jingling inside, and he counts them out, and he gives each of you 10 pieces, and he says, I thought there were more of you, noticing.
Yeah, they're dead.
So he turns to you, Evan, sensing that you're kind of the, you look the most regal and just kind of upstanding young man, and he hands you the he hands you the extra 10 gold pieces for Arj.
Wait.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, so Arj did run off to the Townmaster. Yeah. Okay.
And he looks around, and he says, "Where's Gundren?"
Ooh, about that.
We don't know. We were hoping.
We have an idea of where he might be.
Yeah.
And when he hears this, he looks. He's obviously very worried, and clearly they were pretty good friends.
Yeah.
And so he kind of thinks for a bit, and he goes, "Well, you have to find him."
Yeah, don't worry, we're on it.
That's part of the plan. While we're
he's a staple in these parts, and he was. I was expecting him and his brothers back. I haven't seen them in a 10-day. They were supposed to return any day now to resupply. And just you will know this as having a 10-day is essentially a week. It consists of 10 days.
Yeah.
Every month is 30 days long. Consists of 3 10 days.
Okay.
So a 10-day is what it sounds like.
Yeah.
So he says he was waiting for Gundren's brothers, who were they were camped. He says they were camping somewhere outside of town after Gundren made this discovery. But they haven't returned in a 10-day, and he was expecting them back much sooner.
So
resupply.
Wait, so there's
direction.
Are there two dwarves missing then?
Yeah, he has brothers.
All right. Sorry.
Or a brother. But yeah, can what's his name again? Sorry.
Barthen is who you're talking to now.
Barthen, can you point us in the direction of where they were camping, so that we may go see if we can find them and bring them home safe?
He thinks for a bit, and he says, well, they weren't camping in anywhere specific. They were, like you, they were travelers. But I know that whatever discovery Gundren made was made in the mountains north of here, the border of the forest. He doesn't know much more because, like you said, he was expecting them to return.
Well, some info is better than no info.
Yeah.
What is Gundren's brother's name?
You don't know it yet, but you ask him, and he says Gundren has 2 brothers,
okay.
Nundro and Tharden.
Nundro.
Yeah, and you say that, and he kind of laughs. He goes, "Yes, I know. He was teased."
N-O-N-D.
N-U-N-D-R-O. He kind of looks at you when you ask. He looks at you confused when you ask for the spelling.
I'm asking you specifically, George, not him.
Well, I mean, why would you know how to spell it? You've only ever heard the name.
Honestly, like in this universe, those weird names are more common than just like Jorser. And Barden, was it? It's for my notes, not Evan's notes.
That you know how to spell. That you know how to spell because you look up and you see a sign above you, and it saes Barthen's Provisions.
Wait, so he's a brother?
Wait, Barthen's a dwarf?
The other brother. Sorry, no. I thought you were talking about the guy you're talking to.
No.
Okay.
The other brother.
Tharden?
There's so many of these stupid
Thardin, is that it?
Nundro and what now?
Gundren, Nundro, and Tharden.
Tharden.
Yeah.
So Thardn.
Yeah.
Alright, cool. See, I just don't want to sound retarded when I actually meet them and try to talk to them, and I'm like, "Hey, Paul."
He looks at you, and he kind of smiles, and the salesman in him kicks in, and he says, "I mean, now that you're flush with cash, can I interest you in any of our wares?"
He wants to get the money right back.
And you look around, and he doesn't sell weapons or armor, but you can see adventuring gear of all types, ropes, hammers, just kind of anything that.
All right.
Well, before that, I straddle up to him and go like, "Let me see a map real quick. we found some goods of yours in a cave. Let me show you where that sucker's. Let me show you. Show me a map. I'm gonna point it out to you."
Can we barter the location of the goods for something in return?
He thinks for a second, and he's confused because he hasn't lost any goods.
What?
And then a light bulb goes off, and he says, "Oh, you must mean the Lionshield Coster."
Yes.
That's farther down to the south. He was saying, I was just talking to the owner, and she was telling me about the robberies that have been going on, and she's very concerned. She'll be happy to know that you've located her goods.
Wait a moment. I thought that symbol was outside Barthen's shop.
No, it's for the Lionshield Coster. And he tells you a little bit about it. He says that's where the adventurers like to go. She sells a lot of weapons and armor.
So was there just some misinformation? Because I know you said that we were supposed to be dropping these supplies off at the shield shop.
You recognized the symbol, but you didn't really know where it was from.
Right.
Okay.
Gundren had it on
the stuff on our supplies were Barthen's symbol, but the other supplies that we found were for the Lionshield.
You assumed when you saw it, because you didn't know anything about the town, that it must be Barthen's.
Okay.
So Barthen doesn't sell weapons. He tells you he sells hammers, anything that, and he says, I'm sure clever adventurers like you could find many other uses for my wares, but he sells pretty like rope, stuff like that.
Yeah. Does he sell rations? Barthen, do you have any rations that I can buy?
He says, yeah. What would you be interested in? I have nothing fresh. You'd have to go to the inn for that.
I don't expect the rations to be
for
fresh.
traveling.
Wait, I thought haven't we not used any rations yet? We still have all our original rations.
I personally,
you want to stockpile?
Happens, yeah. I have one.
You started the adventure with one ration.
I started with 2, and I think like during this whole shenanigan, I somehow lost one. I don't know how, but I did.
Wait a minute. You were supposed to throw a ration at the wolves, but Jorster said you never got a chance to.
So I have 2 either way.
So you have 2.
I still want.
I just saved you a ration. Don't worry, I just saved you.
How much per ration?
He thinks. He looks at you, thinks for a bit, and he goes, "Well, I mean, my rations are known for miles around as being, the best dry foods, jerky, dried fruits, nuts."
Miles, huh?
Yeah.
Miles.
Because I'm from Neverwinter. I haven't heard of him.
Well, maybe technically miles around is a forest.
You haven't heard of me? Surely you must be misinformed. And you can't really tell if he's just trying to play you or if he actually thinks that he is.
Can
I
mean, would I insight or perception for that?
It'd be insight.
Oh God, I have no proficiency. Oh fuck.
You look at him and you kind of notice like the clothing he's wearing and the rings he's wearing, and you get the feeling that this is he's a salesman through and through.
Oh, of course. When
you met him, he was very charming, he was very nice, but you can tell that he knows how to hard sell when he needs it. So you get the feeling he's probably playing his stuff up a little bit. He thinks for a bit and he says, "For you, my friend, since you returned my goods, I can sell you rations for 5 silver for a day of rations."
5 silver for a whole day of rations?
I'm gonna go ahead and buy 3 of those, so I'll give him 15 silver.
Yeah.
So I have 95 silver pieces.
He takes it and disappears under the counter.
Oh, he's gone.
And he
trapdoor.
Where'd he go?
He smiles and he says, "Can I get you anything else? I have fine ropes. I'm sure adventurers like you are constantly in situations where you're in need of rope."
Are you a wizard? He disappeared under there.
He says, "No, I have no magic. I don't know of anyone in town who's." Oh,
you don't know of any wizards in town?
Wait, yeah. So there's no wizard that has been here recently.
He thinks, and he says, "No, not to my knowledge."
Oh no.
And he kind of thinks, and he says, "Business has been suffering lately, actually. because of the Redbrands, who have been they've been getting more and more violent in the past.
Redbrands?
Bandits? Yeah.
He said, "Oh, you don't know who the Redbrands are."
First time in town.
First time in the world.
I feel like I've known you my whole life. A little bit of the salesman coming through again, and he says,
This
"Yeah,
freaking guy, freaking hamming it up."
He says, "Yeah, the Redbrands. They've been hassling the shops here in town, asking for protection money, and he says the Townmaster, he's a weak man. He doesn't have any power over them, and he's making it very hard to do business and flouting the authority." And he says, "If I were you, I would steer clear of the Sleeping Giant Tap House."
Tap house. What is a tap house?
It's like
the tavern.
It's just like an inn. Oh, it's like a tavern.
The tavern. Yeah, they don't have room
there. The Red Brand tends to hang out in the Sleeping Giant.
Yeah, that he says that's kind of their go-to place.
So
well, that's unfortunate for them because I want to drink.
So he says, "Oh, well, if you want to drink, I highly recommend the Stonehill Inn. It's just down the road."
All right, fine.
They've got wonderful rooms, and Toblin, the owner, is a personal friend of mine.
Ooh, Toblin.
Yeah, that's the name of the guy. Yeah.
So he just recently got back into town, maybe a couple of days ago.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And hearing that, he says, "Oh, I wasn't aware you knew Toblin." Yeah, he was away for a few days gathering more supplies.
Wait, we know Toblin?
Helped our oxen survive while we were
the note man
dealing with something.
You go, "Oh, classic Toblin." He said, "Yeah, classic." That sounds like something.
Dude, this guy's cool. I like Toblin. He has the drink. He helps the oxen. It's my guy.
What else can I get like a quick synopsis of what he has on store, like from what I see on the shelves and all that?
Yeah. So looking around, you see, a lot of just standard kind of adventuring gear, backpacks, sacks, rope. Pretty much. Right? No, he doesn't sell potions.
Right.
Stuff like that you would start with in the Explorer's Pack or the Adventurers Kit that you choose in when you make your character.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's got
random knicknacks.
Yeah, mining gear, pickaxes, that sort of thing, grappling hooks, rope.
Grappling hook.
Grappling hook. Oh, actually, maybe you should get that grappling hook because remember when I gave you that rope to climb up to the ledge? Maybe the grappling hook would have helped. I don't know.
So how much would it be, Barthen, if I wanted to purchase that grappling hook and some hempen rope?
I think you guys already have rope, but I mean,
I don't personally. So
I have a rope. So whenever we need one, but I understand backup rope. I understand.
More rope is always better. So
I mean, the grappling hook sounds good.
Yeah. He kind of thinks and he says, "Just give me a second." And he kind of disappears into the back, probably checking for see how many he has left. Well, for something as finely crafted as this, I couldn't let it go for anything less than 3 gold pieces.
Okay, all right, I'm stepping in here. I'm freaking stepping in here. He's a friend of Gundren, right?
Yes.
All right. So I was thinking maybe I should. And I was thinking intimidating him, but since he's a friend of a dude we're with, persuasion, I want to persuade him and be like, "Look, man, we're chilling with Gundren. He's missing. You were worried. We're gonna go find him, and we're still.
I'm going to assist this role.
We've been friendly with you, man. I'm not trying to cause trouble for you. I just want you to stop trying to work us over. Stop it.
This could really help us get him back to safety.
True. Also, the grappling hook could help you find your old friend Gundren.
Make a persuasion check.
Word. We did. Well.
When you mention Gundren, you can see, he thinks about it and he goes, "All right, for friends of Gundren, as long as you promise you'll do your best to bring him back, I suppose I could let it go for 2 gold pieces." He says, "I'm almost losing money on this."
How many hooks does he have? Only one?
He says, "Yeah, this is my last one."
All right. 2 gold pieces it is. Let's light him over.
All right.
And
just so you know, for your character, it weighs 4 pounds.
Okay.
And I want to mention, like, look, we're friends now too. We're just, you cool with us? We hams, we bros, check it. Don't worry.
He has no idea what the fuck you're saying.
I translate that all into Old English.
He looks at you, kind of confused, like he's waiting for you to make a point. He doesn't.
Yeah,
well, he basically said for friends of.
They have their own dialect.
He said like, oh, for friends of Gungeon. It's like, yeah, but we're trying to be friends with you too, Barthen. You seem like a cool dude. Part of upstanding member of the community, the economy, worrying about your friend there. Seem like a good guy.
As you're talking to him, one of the people unloading the wagon kind of calls out his name, and he says, "I'm so sorry, but I have to help them."
Sure, no problem.
So before I go, is there anything else I can help you with?
Not that I can think of now, but we might be back later for information.
Do you have any tips you think might help us besides what you've already said?
He thinks for a bit, and he says, "No, I'm not an adventurer myself.
All right.
I'm pretty happy. We get a few coming through the store now and then, but
all right.
I live a quiet life here in town."
Fair enough. Good business to you.
Before we leave to find Gungeon, we'll visit you to see if we have any more questions.
All right.
Sure.
Over to Kat.
So I talked to...
Yes, so Kat, as they're doing this, are you awake, first of all?
Yeah, I've been eating some Sensation high sweet chili crisps. They're nice.
Yeah. So this is happening at the same time. So Soul,
right.
You guys won't be able to get there right away.
Out.
You can make your way over. So as they're talking, so you walk down the road, leaving your buddies behind. You pass through this main square. You see a small shrine on your right as you go by, with someone praying. You see a sign for the Lionshield Coster, and you recognize the symbol from the goods you found in the cave. And just to your left is the Townmaster's Hall, and you can see it has sturdy stone walls, a pitched wooden roof, and at the back a bell tower. And right next to the door, you see a notice board, and it says, "Reward, orcs near Wyvern Tor. Those of a mind to face an orc menace should inquire within." And you see the notice is stamped with what looks to be the town seal and a signature, but you can't make out the signature at all. So, how would you like to do?
I'm going in.
All right. Yep. So you walk in. You see, it looks like this is clearly a multi-purpose room. It has you see some steps going down, and a sign above them says jail. And you see it looks kind of like a courtroom. So it looks like this is kind of Tor, no you. It looks like this is kind of the town hall.
Am I able to distinguish someone who may be in charge, like perhaps the old man that was mentioned? Obviously, I wouldn't really know about it because I wasn't there.
So you look around and you see someone sitting at a desk who kind of looks up when you walk in, and you see he has there's a nameplate and it says Harbin Wester, and he looks up when you walk in, and you can see he's a bit overweight. He's a human. He's a bit overweight, dressed very fancily. And he kind of has an air about him of just like superiority. And he turns when you walk in. He says, "Can I help you with anything?"
I'll say, how do we kill orcs, or was it goblins?
Goblins.
We killed goblins. So I say, have you had any issues with goblins? Just like
so he thinks for a moment. He says, "Goblins? No. Orcs. We've had issues with orcs coming down from the hills and raiding caravans, but no, I haven't had any. Haven't heard anything of goblins."
In the time of that, and say, well, with goblins and orcs maybe working together. I mean, we came in this way, and there were a couple of looted caravans. Obviously, it wasn't necessarily true. We saw the one that got shot with the arrows, which is our friends, but you know where we're going. And he goes, "Are you sure? Like, there's no issues with goblins of late? I mean, it seems to be that something does appear to have been occurring with them. I mean, I'm just curious as well.
When you mention the caravans, he looks really worried. He says, "Caravans? Where did you see these?"
Where the fuck were we before? What was it called?
You came off the Tribor Trail.
Okay, the Tribor Trail, of course. I know the place.
Make a deception check.
Okay.
Because you didn't actually see any caravans.
Oh no.
The cleric is trying to lie.
What alignment are you? Oh my god.
So you say that, and he thinks, and he says, "That can't be true. Someone would have informed me." And you can see he kind of turns away from you and writes something down on a piece of paper, and turns back. But he says, "But if what you say is true, then you may be just the man I'm looking for. We have had trouble with orcs on the Tribord Trail."
So I see.
He says, "I can offer a sizable reward of 100 gold to a group that could take care of the problem."
Is this in the rough direction that we were planning on going anyway?
He says it's to the east, and he tells you about Wyvern Tor, which is it's kind of in the middle of some foothills, and the Tor is difficult to find if you don't know where it is. But he says that they've been coming down from the hills and raiding carriages on the trail between here and towns to the east.
So out of character, really, is this kind of like somewhere that we plan on heading, like, or would it be in the opposite direction that we are going?
You wouldn't. No. So you came from the west. So
I don't think we have any idea where.
You don't know where you. Yeah. As far as you know, you have no idea where Gundren is. All you know is what you've heard from Sildar.
We've arrived, and it's gathering info time.
Yeah, and you wouldn't even know any of the info that Barthen gave them. This isn't a thing like it's not a video game. You don't have to accept the quest. It's just I'm just telling you, like, for the future, like, you don't have to say like, yes, I will take your quest. If someone shows up with a bunch of orc heads, this guy doesn't care whether you talk to him first or not.
It's just automatically added to your missed quest section.
Basically. Just like hearing the rumor and just being like, boom, side quest.
Gauge what religion this town is by using a religion check.
It wouldn't be a religion check.
Or history.
Okay.
Give me a perception check.
How would it not be a religion check?
Yeah.
Well, I guess no, you're right. Religion would be
check
to, like,
is
find out what kind of like
about. As you're kind of in this conversation, your mind drifts, and you remember the shrine you saw.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't really notice it as you were passing by, but now that you think about it, it was a shrine dedicated specifically to any god. So it was clearly set up, for kind of anyone of any religion to pray at. You remember seeing the symbol of a god that you know of as Tamora, goddess of luck and good fortune, who's kind of a catch-all god for, everybody is religious essentially. Because gods literally come down to earth. Tamora is a goddess of kind of just general luck and good fortune, and everybody really prays her, good and evil, neutral, and all the like. So it's kind of just a shrine, not specifically any religion.
Okay, that's fine. No, that's fine. If you don't believe me about the goblins, not to worry. But we'll have a look at this orc problem. We maybe head in that direction anyway, or take a look. I can't promise anything, so we'll see. I mean, if you want to pay me in advance, I can put it, as a further point of progress for us. But
he laughs and he says, "Yes, I've been tricked by that before. I'll wait to see some evidence of progress before I pay."
Do we still have that head?
It's a bugbear head, not an orc head.
Yeah, but it's a head.
That's a good point, actually. Could I come back with them and throw the bugbear head at him and be like, "Yeah, there's definitely no issues here," and walk off in a condescending manner?
I mean, you could return at a later time once you've met up with your buddies. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go.
All right. So as you're walking out. Sure. Yeah. Sorry. Go ahead.
I'm gonna say, good fortune to you, friend. I look forward to dealing with you at a later time. And I give a little.
He gives a little wave and he says, "Yes, I as well. If there's anything else you need, please, feel free." And so as you walk out of the town hall, you see, just walking out of Barthen's as you are walking out of the Townmaster's hall, the rest of your party, and they're walking towards you.
Hi guys.
So we're meeting about in front of Stonehill Inn.
So are we like right here basically? Because we're walking
you're
towards
about in
him.
the middle.
Yeah, so we're like right here. Right. So I guess real quick with RP, we just like exchange information of what happened at Barthen's. He tells us what happens.
Share everything.
So you're aware now of the red brands that have been troubling the city. And he tells you about the quest and the reward of 100 gold for the orcs.
And that the mayor's an old codger.
Yeah. So as we're speaking, I'll mention, I guess, the supplies that we saw in the Goblin Cave belong to them, and I point over to the Lionshield Coster because I noticed their little symbol. It's like we should probably walk in and see if we can get a reward for finding their supplies before we go meet.
Before we do any of this,
what's his name?
I have a suggestion for you, Evander.
Oh, so
I believe we can get some hot cash. Okay, but I need you to do something for me. Do you still have that fucking bear, whatever the fucking it's called?
Anything
the
for you,
rat
friend.
man, the rat. What's it? The man bear pig head.
Hmm.
You should have that.
Of course I have it. It's smelling kind of bad, but it's still
I want
here.
you, just as a favor to me. Okay.
Okay. Anything for you, Arj.
Of course.
Of
Can you go into that hall over there? And I point towards like the big
Townmaster.
orange building that we're that I've been in. And I say, I want you to throw that head. You don't have to throw it. You can place it up to you, whatever you deem necessary in the situation.
I'll underhand it.
Underhand it. Okay, thanks.
Right.
That's great. Great idea.
Cool,
and then tell him, if you believe there are no issues, then enjoy placing this on your mantle. And then you can either decide to continue conversation or walk out gracefully, and we'll see what the man has to say. But I just have a request is all. He's just a bit of a dickhead, really. So,
You're a cleric, cat.
What's your alignment?
What is your alignment?
I
won't hesitate to change your alignment, by the way, Cat.
Ooh.
If you're like a dick.
If I'm being tilted by idiots, then I have no issues. Currently, it's just like how when you're like
good cleric over
there are penalties to losing your alignment, especially as a cleric.
Ooh.
But Paladin goes to shit, he has to re-roll into fighter.
And I know that saying that makes it seem like I'm saying you can't do this. I'm totally okay with you doing that, and it won't cause an alignment change just that. But if it's like a pattern, it will.
So before Eve goes off, I want to bring up the wizard. Sildar freaking said Yarno, a wizard, was supposed to be in this town. But then Barthen said, yeah, I don't know about any wizards. Ain't no wizards around. So I'm thinking maybe he was also taken to this freaking goblin camp with everyone else.
Yeah, you don't know.
Might have a +1 on the missing persons list that we can find with the Goblin King.
Before you go, Evan, also mention perhaps if there's a wizard anywhere. I don't know what conversation you had with the merchant, of course, but
well, we shared.
Well, you do now. We
shared, and I'm bringing up this wizard man.
You can't like replicate an entire fucking conversation.
Why don't you just go with him, Cat? Why don't you go with him?
Well, because then it's like I'm the same dude, you know what I mean, and he has like a foul effect. If I'm like, come back in like, oh yeah, but I put a fucking head.
Wait, so you want me to be some random guy that goes into the Townmaster's hall and tosses a head at him with no relation to you?
Yes.
All right,
no, I don't think I can do that.
No, you got this. I agree with this. After telling about the wizard, I'm like, I agree with Arj's idea though. So good.
That would have like no benefit to us whatsoever.
I mean,
yeah, Arj should probably go.
Great God Bahamut. I mean, he desires unholy amounts of blessing and gifts. I require gold, okay? God damn it.
I mean, Eve is right about the Townmaster's not going to know what this means. He's just going to think Eve's a nutty person that likes to throw heads at people.
I'm going to be some insane motherfucker.
So Arj has got to go. Arj has got to show him, have a little smirk. Leah teaches Arj how to smirk real quick.
Okay, all four of us, including Delgado, who obviously is here.
Benjamin Button.
I haven't seen Delgado around, guys. Have you seen him? He kind of just vanished.
Did we leave him back in?
No, he was with you in Barthen's.
Okay.
So let's go in as a group, all geared up, ready to cast spells, just in case this old man decides he wants to fight.
Yeah.
And then we can try and get more information out of him. If you want me to come in with you, I mean, if you feel,
So
you're too much of a pussy to do it
yourself. The four of you walk in. Do you have the head out now, or is it like in a
Evan
sack?
has the head. It's like I can't grab his sack.
It's in a bag on my waist right now. Same
Sure.
as it was
So
before.
you walk in and the guy at the desk looks up and he recognizes Arj. And he says, "Oh,
Hi,
welcome
friend.
back."
Hi, yeah, hi.
And
How
he
you doing?
sees the 3 new people, and he says, "Oh, hello. I'm not sure that we've met."
Oh yeah, sorry.
And
Rude of me not to say anything. I mean, things we're great pals and all, Mister. I mean, what? I didn't catch it. What's your name, by the way, friend? I forgot.
He kind of looks confused, and he looks down at his nameplate that's directly in front of you, and he says, "Well, my name is Harbin Wester."
I don't read common very well, but thank you.
Leah bursts out laughing.
Harbin Wester, and I'm the Townsmaster for this.
Okay. Well, Harbin, I know we're great friends and all. This is my friend Evander. He's a fantastic, great warrior. One of the legends. I'm sure the town will want to read and speak and sing tales all about him. And Leah, who Leah's there. She's a great person. You know what I mean? Like, fantastic person. Not a fantastic warrior, but still very skillful in her arts. And then we have this weird, spooky old man who isn't old, Delgado, I think his name is. I haven't really spoke to him much. He doesn't seem.
As you're talking, you can tell he's getting very impatient. He doesn't really care what you're saying at all.
And I also have my god Bahamut, who's looking down upon me. He's very impressed with the current situation. Anyhow, Evander, would you please like to show this man the man bear pig head that we have acquired? Just as fishes.
Right then, and I open the bag and I pull out his head.
And as you open the bag, the smell of just rotting, decaying meat essentially just fills the room, and Harbin kind of recoils. Ugh! What is that awful smell?
Well, Evan, would you like to explain?
As you pull the skull out of the bag, like the skin just kind of slips off, and you kind of get half of it is just like rotted and has fallen off, and the other half is just like dangling there. He sees it and he's like, "Oh, how dare you bring that in here? What possible reason could you have for defiling this room with?" And he gets up from his desk, and you can see he's quite fat, but he opens the windows and starts fanning at them, and he's clearly quite distressed now and angry.
I mean,
and he says, "What on earth could you want bringing that in here?"
Man has no effect on me, the great 7-foot dragon. And I look to him and I say, "Oh, I just wanted to, showcase that there were definitely monsters in the hills, and we definitely saved this town, Phandalin."
He cuts you off in the middle of your sentence, and he says, "Well, first off, I see no reason for you to bring this in, but there's no way to prove where that's from. I mean, I can't barely tell what type of animal it is now." And he says, "Add to that, there's no reward." And he's stuttering over his words because he's so angry and just repulsed. He said, "There's no reward posted. I don't just give out money for random corpses. What kind of town would this be?" And he turns at you and he says, "Get out!"
Be a good town.
And he walks into a back room, slams the door shut. And as he walks away, he's muttering, "Adventurers always, I just hate them."
Is there anyone else in this room?
No, it's totally empty.
It's just us and that man who just left.
I look over at Arj and I'm like, that went just about as
it's going as
exactly as I thought it would go.
I straight up to Eve, put a freaking arm on his shoulder, and be like, "That wasn't what you were supposed to do. You were supposed to come in here all big and stuff, and you were supposed to roll this head up on there and be like, yeah."
I think it would.
And you just freaking
melted as soon as it hit the floor.
Instead, you just placed the bag gently on his table and slowly opened it up, like, "Look, a skull." That's not gonna catch his attention.
And I pulled out the head, and it was only half of a head at that point.
You're meant to intimidate the man, not grace him with your dead presence.
Yeah,
remember Arj's original plan? He wanted you to be a big man and just be super cool and mysterious.
He's the tall one. Either way,
we're
walking out of the Townmaster's hall. I'm done with this.
No.
Yeah, but you have a presence.
As you walk out, you notice the sun has started to kind of dip behind the mountains. It's dusk.
Can I check if Lionshield is open?
Yeah, it looks like. It's behind the mountains, so it's not nighttime. So yeah, there's still people walking in and out of the Lionshield. Yeah.
Alright, so I'm gonna walk right in then. I'm gonna ditch
too.
the head in the fucking bushes though. I'm done with his head. I'm ditching it in the bushes.
Take it out of your inventory.
I don't think it was ever in there, honestly.
I kind of look at the skull woefully.
You see a kid from one of the nearby fields run over and look into the sack, and like at first he kind of recoils, and then he looks around and he grabs it and he runs over to his friend. And you can see they're all sitting around like pointing at it, and
I'll be like, all right, enjoy that. And
Leah laughs.
Walk into Lionshield.
Yeah, so you walk across the street from the Townmaster.
I'm in there with him.
You see a building similar, made of wood, similar to the ones. This one's built on the foundation of, obviously there was another building there before, and you see hanging above the front door of this pretty modest trading post is a sign shaped like a wooden shield with a blue lion painted on it, and Leah recognizes it as the same symbol from the boxes in the cave.
We're inside now.
Whatever you do this time, Evan, make sure that you're like a big, bold gentleman.
What I'm gonna do this time is not whip out rotting heads.
That's a good plan.
You see a middle-aged human woman. She looks to be about 30, 40, and she says, "Welcome to the Lionshield Coster. How can I help you?"
Are you the owner of this establishment?
She says, "I am. My name is Lillian. Pleased to meet you. And who might you be?"
I'm Evan.
And she says this as she's kind of eyeing the giant dragon man out of the corner of her eye.
In what kind of way?
Praise.
Oh, just like they don't like.
Oh shit! Look, there's a dragonborn. Or
they don't see many dragonborn. Or it's not like with malice or anything. She's not used to 7 foot tall dragonborn.
I'm gonna down to her and go praise to Baltimore to my friend, and then
What?
So
I'll introduce myself.
I'm just saying hello by saying praise to Baltimore. I'm not fucking.
That's how dragonmen say it.
I'm a fucking devout cleric.
Okay.
As you guys are kind of bickering back and forth, she's kind of looking around.
Right. So I'm trying to shake her hand right now. I'm trying to reach out my hand.
And she grabs your hand. She gives you quite firm shake.
What was? Remind me what her name was. I'm sorry, it slipped my mind with this.
She says, "Oh, don't worry. It happens all the time." Leanne.
Leanne, Lian. Okay.
Hey, I'm Leah.
Leanne.
I'm Leah. You're Leah. Yeah. I do a little dance.
I saw that your establishment is a blue a shield with a blue line on it, and we have found some supplies that may have been looted on our way here from Neverwinter.
When you mentioned that, she says, "Really?" She says, "There have been bandits raiding us for a month, but we've never been able to find. We don't know who's responsible."
Yeah, there were goblins.
And she kind of looks at you, and now she looks a little bit suspicious. And she says, how do you know about these bandits?
We came across some horses that were ambushed with, arrows with black feathers on them. And when we went to investigate them, we were ambushed ourselves by goblins. We followed one that ran. We found their cave.
At the mention of goblins, you see her. She doesn't look at you as suspiciously, and she says, "Goblins? So it wasn't men?"
No. Not as far as we know, not the supply catch that we found. It was a goblin cave.
And she says, "Well, that is surprising. I suspected the Redbrands. They've been in the past 10 days. They've been starting up more and more trouble. I just assumed." And she says, "If you could give me the location, I would be happy to reimburse you for any costs."
And I step right up.
Oh God.
What do you mean? I have the best memory in the group for areas, so it's like, all right, pull out a map. Let me show you. This man.
Okay, thank God. I thought you were gonna be like, well, what about 150 gold?
Yeah, so you draw pretty not super detailed, but enough that anyone could find it.
General vicinity.
And I put a little heart, and I put Leah.
You make a note of a couple of the traps just so that she knows they're there.
Oh yeah, that pitfall that Eve freaking spidered out of.
She looks overjoyed, and she reaches under the counter and she pulls out a big sack of gold, and she counts out 50 gold and hands it to Evan and says, I trust you'll share this among yourselves. And she says, "Now, while I have you here, is there anything else I can do for you? We have some of the finest weapons in Phandalin."
At the same time that she's asking me this, I'm giving Arj 20 gold, giving Leah plus the gold that I had from him from before, so I'm giving him 10 plus the other one.
Okay.
From Barthen. So 20 gold for Arj.
Cat.
I'm giving 20 to Leah.
And I got 10 from Barthen before, right?
Yeah, you got 10 from Barthen, and I'm giving you 20 more.
All right.
Does anyone have access to Delgado's sheet?
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm giving the other 10 to Delgado.
I can do it.
Still do, apparently.
Sure, go ahead and do that. So I'm giving 10 to Delgado.
Leah looks at Eve just a little bewildered, like, why is everyone trusting him over me? I know he's shiny.
Well, I mean, he was the one who walked in and started the conversation.
I freaking drew that map. I put a little heart on it.
That's why I gave you 20 gold, and I'm giving...
Yeah, but I'm not getting mad at you.
There,
I'm just bewildered.
Just brooding in the corner, 10 gold. Right, so what did she say while I was doing this? I'm sorry, repeat, please. If I could take care of the bandits, was it?
Nope, she didn't say anything about bandits, but she mentioned that she thought that it was the
right.
Redbrands.
Okay.
Well, on that point, I asked like real quickly,
and then
does the
asked
Clark
if you need any weapons?
Does the name Clark mean anything to her?
She says no.
All right,
a silly name.
All right, it's just a dead end then. Don't worry about it.
She says, "Is that your dog?"
No, don't worry about it. I was just checking to see if there was a connection, but it's fine. I guess it's not. So whatever.
Why don't you ask her if there's like the other place? You know, this is our character, by the way. I don't want to be like fucking fucking looks at you weirdly in a fucking weird way. She's like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" No, the place where the dwarf was. So you mentioned that,
Well, you can go ahead and ask her if she knows where Gundren is.
Yeah, but it's rude for a giant dragonman to interrupt half elf. I think it's half elf. I don't fucking know your race.
Huh. Well, so she asked us if we need weapons. Okay, so
and
she asked me if I need weapons.
You see, this is clearly like they sell weapons and armor, and says, we sell the finest arms and armor here.
We get into the business of hopefully trading with each other for golden arms. Would you happen to provide us with some information, because we are looking for a dwarf? And then Cat chime in.
I don't even know what the place is. Hang on, let me check my notes.
We're in Lionshield Coster.
At the mention of a, she doesn't seem to react when you mention a dwarf, and she says no. I mean, I don't have anything against the dwarves, but I haven't heard any news about them. Why? Did something happen?
You don't know any dwarves?
You don't know Gundren or any of his brothers?
At the mention of Gundren, Gundren. Of course, I know Gundren. Everyone in town knows Gundren. She says, "We've been expecting him back, him and his brothers, for a 10-day now, and they haven't returned. But they often disappear for months at a time, and no one thinks twice of it. Why? Has something happened?" You can tell
Barthen,
she looks worried.
Barthen was just concerned because he was expecting them. So we were just trying to see if they've mentioned it to where they were going to anybody in town.
She says, no, I haven't heard anything.
Oh, thank you very much for that. Do you know about a wizard that was supposed to have been here quite a while ago?
She thinks, and she says, a wizard, you say? Could you describe him?
Do we know what the wizard looks like?
No.
His name is Yarno.
She doesn't seem to react to the name at all, and she says no. We don't get many wizards through town here.
Oh boy.
Mostly hardier fellows, with the mines nearby.
Of course. Oh well. Thank you anyways, we appreciate that. Do you guys have anything you'd like to ask Leon?
I'm just going to list some locations. I was going to say, have you heard of a Wave Echo Cave?
She said, oh, well, I mean, everyone's heard of Wave Echo Cave, but no one, well, yeah, that's the reason the town was founded.
I see. Everyone here is okay, right? I see.
So, and she says, the reason 500 years ago the town was founded by a clan of gnomes and dwarves who mined Wave Echo Cave for the magical rich ores in there, and the town was a bustling metropolis until the orcs sieged the cave and the mine and destroyed the town and most of the mine, causing cave-ins, and ever since then no one's been able to find their way through the mine with all the cave-ins.
Did she say magical ore?
Yeah, well, and living in this world, there's all sorts of magical ores that are used in forging weapons and brewing potions and all sorts of things. It's very common.
So Wave Echo Cave doesn't Is that what she doesn't really
Yeah, so
exist anymore? Is that what she's saying?
Well, she says no one, the entrance because they used to mine there, the entrance is caved in, and no one's been able to get in since a couple hundred years ago when the orcs rampaged through the town.
Can
and
I ask
the
her
mine.
to mark the rough location of the entrance on my map?
She says, well, I was never a miner, and that was well before my time. All I know are stories. So I can't really help.
No rough idea of where it might be.
I mean, and she thinks, and she says, not that would be useful to you. And I mean, she knows like that it's in the mountains, but she has no idea where.
Yeah,
She doesn't want to lead us into like a random scavenger hunt.
Yeah, she says, and just to the south of you are the Sword Mountains, which is quite a large kind of. They go south and up and east, kind of surrounding the town, and you can see them from town. It'd be easy to get lost for years in the caves if you went
just
without
wander.
really knowing.
Can I ask if there's anyone in town that may have an idea?
She says, well, I mean, if you're wondering about mines, then obviously the Miners' Exchange would be where the best place to go.
Okay.
And she
Keep
points
that in
just
mind,
down to the south to a little square building.
All right.
All right. I asked her if she knows anything about the red brands.
At the mention of the red brands, you can tell she kind of narrows her eyes, and she obviously really doesn't like them. And she says, "Ugh, don't talk to me about the red brands. And those men are trouble. They've been harassing the town, and it's gotten worse lately. The Townmaster refuses to do anything about it. If I were you, I'd stay away from the Sleeping Giant Inn."
But I want the ale.
The town, there's ale in Stonehill. The Townmaster didn't seem to mention the red brands. Is he okay with them doing what they do?
She says, "Ugh, that man! I can't believe we ever elected him. He's useless. They walked in one day, and all they had to do was kick a few things around, and now he's totally terrified of them. He refuses to even acknowledge their presence as an issue."
All right, thank you for that.
Oh, real quick, does she know how many of the red brands there are?
Yeah, I was gonna be like, what's their forces like? Like, what's their count like?
She says, I couldn't be sure. They're never all in one place at the same time. But
of course, but
a dozen.
They seem like a large group, or just a small band of people looking to cause trouble.
She says, I mean, they've essentially taken over the town. There's probably 20 to 30 of them.
Oh my gosh.
They come and go at different hours, and they spend most of their time in the Sleeping Giant.
And the name of their leader is?
She says, I've never heard a name.
Oh, but they do have a leader.
Yes.
Great.
Well, thank you very much. So while I was gone, going to the bathroom, did they talk about what she has in stock yet, or?
Nope, but she sells just pretty much all non-magical weapons and armor.
Right. Oh, by the way, George, like out of that, would there be any place in town where I could exchange copper for silver and silver for gold or emerald, whatever the fuck it is, and all that stuff? Is that like a thing, or do I have to wait until I get like a big city to find like a currency exchange?
Yeah,
kind of
I mean, maybe Barthen.
I'm just wondering. All right.
Someone in the inn might know,
right?
If you ask them, but no, you wouldn't know of anywhere. Like, it's not a common thing.
Yeah, of course.
And they wouldn't have a building dedicated to it, like a bank or anything. Not in a small town like this. You told her about the goods, and she gave you. Yeah, she paid you. Right when you said that, you saw a couple people kind of going out the back, looking like they were heading over,
ready to
pick them up. Yeah.
I'm gonna pull out the little jade statue of a frog and ask if she knows anything about it.
She looks at it and she says, it just looks like a pretty common trinket.
Common trinket, so nothing special about this. All right, thank you.
Not that she would know.
Do any of you guys want to buy anything from her?
Do you have anything useful for a sorcerer?
And she says, well, I mean, everyone can use a sharp blade.
Okay. All right.
Especially for cutting yourself with when you get too angry.
What? What?
I don't know. You might be annoyed and then just go, fuck it, and cut myself. You know what I mean?
That's exactly
yeah, I mean, she doesn't. She tells you she doesn't sell anything magical, but
right.
Never hurts to have a a good strong stick to beat someone over the head with when the magic goes wrong.
I wish I had a stick, but I don't. I
thanks
gotta
to you,
focus.
I have 5 on offer, so feel free to purchase one now. Buy one, get one free. It's the greatest price.
Buy 1 staff, get 1 free. No, not even a staff, just a stick.
Yeah.
I'll buy 1 stick. No. No. All right.
That would be 1 copper piece, and she pulls out like a little like.
Well,
thing
while you
for
guys
the
are just
reach
standing there, she kind of
Chuckling.
looks around and she says, "I'm sorry to do this, but if you're not going to buy anything, I'm getting ready to close up." So.
All right, fair enough.
Do you have a net?
Net.
She says, "No, but I'm sure Barthen, just up the street, would be happy to sell you a net."
Oh, does she sell something like caltrops? Does she have anything like that?
What? It's not in the game right now.
Like, is it? I mean, it's just spikes. Like, do you have any bits of metal that would hurt if you stepped on it?
She says, "Again, that's something I would direct you to Bartok."
All right,
for.
fair enough. Fair enough.
Bartok.
Sorry for keeping you so long.
Leah, don't you need a quarterstaff? You said you wanted.
I want one, but I don't think I can carry all this stuff.
Out of RP, are you encumbered right now or something?
Oh no! Don't. Why are you bringing that up? Why are you bringing that up?
Are you over encumbered right now?
I've been encumbered since I existed. This hunting
Okay,
trap
so
I
have
have
I,
costs
but,
25 weight.
Yeah, I know you guys have been.
It's 25 weight for
Yeah.
this hunting trip, and 59 for the explorers pack. This is nuts. This is ridiculous.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm packed up too.
I mean, have you read what the Explorer Pack has in it?
A ton of stuff.
Yeah.
A heap.
Right. So I'm gonna ask her. I'm gonna go. I'm sorry to keep you. Do you have a quarterstaff I could buy? Because I'm gonna buy one.
She says, "Of course," and she kind of walks into the back and she comes out with a long stick, essentially.
I give Eve a smirk. I like a man who knows how to handle a stick.
And she says, "This is a quarterstaff carved from fine wood from the trees, right? Just outside town here. I'm asking for 2 silver for this."
What the fuck?
Perfect. I'll hand her 2 silver, and I'll thank her for her time.
Yeah.
And
So
we're
she
on our
passes
way.
it over. So quarterstaff. Do you want the stats for that?
No, I'm just gonna put it in inventory because I'm gonna eventually give it to Leah. So
Good, because right now Leah's mouth is watering a little bit.
So how much is the weight though? Oh, actually, no. I think I have the weight. No, I don't.
Yeah.
Alright, so we're
after
off.
that, she kind of goes around. Yeah, she starts close, and you can see that the sun's now dipping down.
Thank her, wave goodbye, and we're heading to Stonehill Inn, I guess, right?
For a drink. Drink.
Yes, for a
Drink.
Sure. So you make your way north. Kind of into the center of town.
Right.
And you see it looks pretty newly built, made of stone and rough-hewn timbers. You walk in to the common room. Let's play some tavern music, maybe. Let's see.
Oh yeah, grooving
There
it.
You walk in and you see a very warm inn. As you walk into the common area, you see it's filled with locals, all drinking big mugs of ale or cider, and they all kind of look up with curiosity at you as you walk in. Because new people around town always get a bit of a look.
Especially with freaking Dragon Man.
And as you walk in, you see a human man behind the bar, and he says, "Welcome to the Stonehill Inn. Can I help you travelers to a drink or maybe a room?"
Yes, give me a pint of your finest drink.
And he snaps his fingers and calls over a barmaid, and she looks at you. What can I get you?
Just your finest. Whatever's the best one. Give me that one. Leah's bouncing with excitement.
I'm like holding the lady from leaving and be like, ask for the price first. Like, I'm telling you to calm down.
She says, "I'll bring you some ale."
Yeah, perfect.
She runs off, and in a little bit she comes over with 4 mugs of ale. Sorry, 4 mugs of ale. She sets them down on the table, and you see Toblin kind of note something down in a big book he has.
Leah looks at Eve a little sadly, but then as soon as the ale gets here, she just forgets about all that and just grabs it and goes, just downs that sucker.
Right. So how How much would it be for a cup? I had to run and get my wine.
She already brought it, but
yeah, no, but
it's 2 copper.
I mean, like in real life, I went and grabbed wine, so I don't know what happened as soon as we walked in.
Toblin greeted you. Said
Did
hi.
we get his name?
Yeah, it's Toblin.
Oh, no, I'm just wondering if we actually know that it's him.
Yes. Yeah.
Have we thanked him for what he's done for our ox yet?
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Yes.
cool.
Hey, do I have to do a constitution check because I just downed this ale?
No.
Okay.
You've drank.
Maybe in a couple of ales.
You've had ale before, right?
Oh yes. Oh yes.
So, and as you sit down, where do you guys sit? The tavern. There you see kind of an empty table.
Well, before we go sit, I want to ask Toblin. Hey, is Sildar around? Is he good?
Yeah.
Is he healthy?
Can we see Sildar?
As you're about to ask that, you see Sildar coming down the stairs from where you assume the rooms are.
And I go, Sildar!
And he sees you and he says, Leah! And he kind of, walks over to you guys and he turns to Toblin and he says, another round for my friends.
Woo! Sildar! And I go up next to Sildar, I'm getting hugs. I'm like, yeah!
Touch mine yet.
Double fisting!
You see Toblin turn to the barmaid and kind of nod and she comes over and as she's putting them down, she notices, you guys, your weapons and all your adventuring gear, and she kind of turns and she looks at you, Evan, and she says, "Are you adventurers?"
No. I mean, yes.
Yes, we are.
Yes.
And she says, "We don't get many adventurers around here. Darren, the orchard keeper, he's an adventurer too. Do you know him?"
Darren? She said Darren?
Absolutely. Me and Darren go way years. I mean,
Archie knows him though.
We killed a
Wait, does he really?
dragon together. We killed my brother once.
Make a deception check.
All right.
She's fucking clueless. Okay.
Freaking.
Well, she knows Darren.
Leah looks at Dragon Man with excitement, like, "Wow, you know that guy?"
Oh, let's go. 5.
She looks at you and she says, "Really? What's his last name?"
It's my brother. Don't you not? Yaji. Or maybe we're talking about the wrong.
Wait,
Darren.
brother.
Sorry. Yeah, it's a long story.
What didn't you know about
I haven't really
Phandalin then?
mentioned it to you, Leah, about how my family stabbed me in the back and then nearly got me killed. Yeah, that was a fun time.
As you're saying
What
this,
the fuck?
wanders off.
Leah looks.
Before she wanders off, how much was it per ale? Actually, was it
2 copper.
All right, I'm gonna.
Sildar got the second
I'm
round.
gonna slide a silver piece over to her and just be like, just keep them coming.
Yeah. But Leah looks at Arj worried about this whole freaking brother stabbing in back stuff. Like, what the fuck?
While they're talking, I'm just gonna sneakily just be like, just keep the ale coming.
Without the chantry of Bahamor, I would be dead. So you can thank them for me gracing your presence. But
I write that down.
It's a long story. They thought I was some bad omen, so they figured, we could probably get rid of him fairly easily.
The hell, that freaking music!
Yeah, out of the fucking blue.
I thought I was someone stabbed.
And then my brother appears from the doorway and goes, "Oh, you fucking dickhead!"
What?
Your brother's at the doorway?
No, I think
What are you talking about?
I think he's having some out of character fun. Don't worry about it.
Drunk already.
Has you even had a drink yet?
No.
So
just the whiff, just the smell of it got him drunk.
Yeah, I mean, I've had 2
You can
pork
see
for
that
me.
since
And
you sat down, a number of people in the inn have been kind of just eyeing you. Not like suspicious, just you're new in town and you got a big dragon with you, so they keep glancing up over their drinks and then kind of looking down and going back into hushed conversations.
Using my magic, I put a frame of like an illusion of rose petals around his head to be like, look, he's cute, he's friendly, look at him.
You can turn your music down, by the way.
Blush eyes as well.
So I'm gonna go over to Sildar, be like, Sildar, can you find us a table?
Sildar's sitting down because you guys already had a table, so he's sitting down with you guys.
I sit right down next to Celebrate.
didn't know
Yeah,
that.
this is my chum right here. I raise an ale to Sildar.
Yeah, so Sildar turns to you and he says, have you found anything out about Gundren? Like, are you any closer to?
About to ask you. Yeah, that actually.
And he says, no, I thought you were gonna kind of take point on that. I've been trying to follow up on Yarno.
People just don't know.
I've learned a few things. Apparently he was here, but he disappeared exploring the area around the manor to the east about 2 months ago, which is right after he arrived. So I'm a little worried.
Okay,
and
so-
he asks if like he says maybe you could investigate the manor and maybe see if you can find him or what's left of him.
Real quick, did we ever get a tip about where the Goblin King is?
Nope,
No,
not where.
right? So
I
okay.
killed the goblin before that happened.
All right, just making sure.
Very vengeance.
Yeah, you don't you know the name of a place, Cragmaw Castle, but you don't know where that is.
Okay.
Oh yeah, wait. Do I have to pick a thing? Now that I think about it, sorry. Right. So he tells us about Yarno, right? So I'll be like, well, we did find out a few things, not very informative, but we know that Gundren was camping somewhere nearby with his brothers when he went missing, but no one seems to know exactly where.
No, what Gundren went missing from the horses, I thought, and that it was only the two brothers that were outside of the town waiting for him to come.
And Sildar, he says, well, Gundren was with me when we were attacked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I understood from Barthen's that he was with his brothers camping.
I give Eve a little pat. It's okay. Memory's hard. It's okay.
Well, Barthen doesn't know what happened to him. All he knows is the three brothers had left town.
So the three brothers had left town. He hasn't seen them
and they
since.
haven't come back.
That's okay.
Yeah. So Sildar knows that Gundren was captured but he doesn't know where.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I drank a lot of wine on the way here too.
I give him a quick update of like, oh yeah, so we told Lionshield Coster, Leon is she's nice over there. We told her about her supplies, so they're gonna go get that. Don't worry about those. Just so he knows.
And he says, perfect, that's great. And then he kind of lowers his voice and he says, another thing, I found some information. I think Gundren may be connected to the Wave Echo Cave. I've heard a lot of rumors. And something called Cragmaw Castle. And he says, I think...
Well, he already knew about the Cragmaw before, right?
Well, he didn't.
Oh, he didn't? I thought we learned that together.
No, well, you learned it when he was unconscious.
Well, I don't know, it just seems like we've been traveling for like fucking 3-4 hours. Like, surely we would have discussed something between now and then.
Yeah, so
I mean, you didn't say anything, so...
I'm surprised this hasn't come up in conversation.
The Cragmaw Castle bit.
Inconsistent about what pops up and what doesn't.
Yeah, maybe we just didn't mention the castle. Who knows? We forgot about it. But Clark did tell us about Cragmaw, or the Goblin did tell us about Cragmaw, right?
Clark
we just
was
didn't know where it was.
He told
Clark
you
was
about,
the bugbear.
Yeah, we just didn't know. Yeah, so we'd be like, I guess we'll tell him, be like, yeah, we mentioned we knew about Cragmaw, we just don't know its location. Did you figure that out?
Yeah, and he says, I think finding that should be our first priority.
Well, there's a couple people, there's a few missing people really right now. We got some doors missing, and they're probably at Cragmaw, but we don't know where Cragmaw is. However, the wizard might be at that manor, and we're already here, so maybe we should go to the manor.
He says, yes, give me a day. I still have a few people I need to talk to. I keep meaning to go to talk to the Townmaster, because that's who Yarno was supposed to meet with.
Oh my gosh, that freaking codger.
Okay, we didn't have a very good run-in with him. Maybe you'll have better luck.
He's fat.
He kind of looks at you and he says, I'm not surprised. He's not the easiest person to get along with.
Yeah, well, remember the head I had?
He didn't like it. He didn't like that.
When you mention the head, he kind of goes, yes?
He didn't like
Why on earth would that come up?
Wow.
And we all look at Arj.
Just don't mention it when you talk to him, please.
I wanted cash, okay?
He buries his hands in his head and he goes, adventurers. They never learn. And he's just shaking his head.
That's the point of adventuring. Everything's new. And another round comes.
I throw a peanut at Arj.
By this point, we've all had 4 rounds of ale.
Woo! Yeah, I've had 5.
He's had, you double-fisted them like a champ and had 5.
I haven't stopped drinking.
Sure, so far you guys have been just drinking, talking amongst yourselves. People are starting to leave for the night, but there's a few people still sticking around. People
before the next cutscene happens, I wanna talk to Sildar about these Redbrands real quick. Like, you've been hearing about Redbrands too, yeah?
Yeah, because Sildar frequents this town, right? That's what we've gathered from He really wanted to come back, so he's been here before.
He's familiar with the town.
Yeah, he's been here before, is what I'm saying.
And he's been asking around us also.
He's been at the inn mostly.
Yeah, and he says, "Oh yes, I've heard of the Redbrand's nasty business," and he kind of thinks for a bit, and he says, "You know, there might be a lot of people in town pretty happy if you could maybe do something about them."
Yeah, I was thinking about freeing up the sleeping giant. More ale.
They were 20 to 30 strong. So...
When you mention the ale and the sleeping giant, he says, "Ugh, who would ever pay for that?"
What? Then why are they holed up there?
So
yeah, sorry, go ahead, Sol.
No. What?
I was just when you say that, Tolbin kind of cocks his head and he says, "Well, obviously, because I won't let them in here."
You are holding off 20 to 30 people. Tolbin, I smirk at Tolbin. He's cool.
And he says,
"That's a tough man."
What are they gonna do? I just refuse to serve them. They can't.
Oh.
I raise an ale to Tobin.
Another round for the brave Tobin.
This is great. I love this.
and as you're talking, you notice a couple people kind of glancing up and then kind of looking away when they notice you're looking. There's like two tables. There's one of just like one person on their own, kind of in the back, and then one person on their own talking to someone who clearly works at the inn. And they're pretty interested in you guys.
I think you've had a question for Sildar.
Yeah, I was gonna ask Sildar. After this, I'm just gonna get up as soon as he gives me, and we'll go take it from there. But I'm gonna ask Sildar, how would you recommend we deal with 20 to 30 bandits all in one spot?
And he says, "Oh well, I mean, I wouldn't really say that there's that many." And he says, "Furthermore, I mean, it's not like they're an army. They're a bunch of drunkards who have realized that by banding together they can, terrorize the townsfolk. I've never seen more than 4 or 5 of them in one place at a time."
Except the sleeping giant, right, where there's probably like a dozen of them.
He says, "I mean, even at the giant, I mean, and they fight amongst themselves as much as with the townsfolk."
Dang, this might be easier than I thought.
So, they're not as armed as people have made them seem.
Well, and I mean, he says, "Oh, I mean, they're bandits. They're not. They're thugs. They're not soldiers."
From what people have said, it seems like they're an unstoppable force.
and Sildar says, "Well, of course, these are simple townsfolk. They've never seen a real soldier."
Adventurers always starts somewhere.
They never seen a real soldier till Sildar came into town. Oh,
and as you're talking about the Redbrands, you notice the lady that you thought probably worked here. She walks over and she introduces herself. She says, "I'm Trelina. I'm the innkeeper's wife." And she says, "The Redbrands. I mean, they talk a big game, but I mean, just a 10 day ago, Threl Dendar, the woodcarver, he stood up to them.
Dendar.
Tendar,
When they came
the woodcarver.
Dendar.
They came and she turns to Sildar and gives him a look. And you know what happened to him? They murdered him.
Yeah, that's fine.
Townsfolk saw it happen. They grabbed his body, and now his wife and daughter and son are missing. And she kind of slaps. She kind of gives a little backhanded slap to Sildar. "So don't you go around spreading rumors just to make yourself look big."
Yeah.
And Sildar kind of lowers his head and he says, "I didn't know about that. I'm sorry."
I'm gonna wink at her and be like, "Trust me, he is big."
She blushes and she says, "None of my business."
What'd she say her name was?
Trelina.
Trelina.
I'm gonna walk away and I'm gonna go to one of the individuals, the one that wasn't talking to the worker, the one that was just alone in the corner.
He looks up and he says, "What can I do for you?"
Okay, well, you seem interested in our little party. I just want to know if there's anything we could do for you. It seems.
He says, "Well, we don't get many dragons around these parts."
So you were looking at Arj, huh?
And he says, "Well, everyone is looking at Arj."
You should tug his tail.
The fuck?
He looks and he says, "I've seen enough animals around the farm that I know not to mess with one."
Well, he's not an
Especially
animal.
the
He's
tail.
dragonborn.
He says, and he kind of looks at you. "What's the difference?"
There's a magic trick that happens after you tug the tail. That's the difference.
Oh, isn't it?
And kind of when he says he gets up and he's obviously finished, and he flicks a coin to the bartender, and he walks out, nodding at the four of you as he leaves.
I raise a nail to that random guy. No, not really. No, not really.
Your cup's empty now. They haven't. They've.
What?
I stare confused at my cup.
You're the only ones in.
Per, and I gave them a silver piece. They should keep that shit coming.
That's 58.
Well, and you kind of look up and you notice the bar is now deserted. It's just you and you guys. And Toblin says, "I'm closing up. I'm closing up here. Can I offer you a room?"
Leah's really good at math when it comes to ale. Alright, well, Eve and Arj seem to be inert right now, so Leah goes like, yeah! I would like a room. For all of us, we're all going in one room. Sildar, come on, you too.
And he says, and he kind of chuckles and he goes, yeah, right.
What? Alright, how much is a room?
He kind of looks at you and he says, and you can tell he's really looking at, he's kind of examining
the people.
And he says, for the three of you, and he points to the most humanoid of you. He says, 5 silver. For the dragon, 8. I don't know what he'll do to the bed.
Wait, so
5 silver for each of us or all of us?
Well, you said you pointed at 3 of us that are humanoid.
Yeah,
does that not count Sildar?
No, Sildar's already paid for his room. He
Sildar
has rooms. Yeah, so we'll each pay 5, and then Kat is gonna pay 8 because they're not sure about them.
That's 5 each for us. 5 each.
Yep.
For us to each have our own room.
Mm-hmm.
Does each room only have one bed?
Don't have silver. I have silver, so I guess I'll pay for the rooms myself.
Yeah, there's only one bed in the room. They're pretty standard. So
Well,
he takes the money and he gives you the keys to the room, and you go up, and they're very standard.
and real quick, I go like, hey, one more ale for the night.
So 23. So 23 silver in total.
Yep.
3 of us, and then 1 ours. So 23 minus 92. Okay.
That one more ale, buddy, hook me up.
And he says, "No, you're cut off."
Thank you. This always happens.
So you go up. The rooms are pretty standard. They're not terrible, but the beds are comfortable, but pretty bare otherwise. There's a desk. 3 of them have windows. The 4th one that Leah's in doesn't. It just opens into the hallway.
All right, I level up.
There isn't much of a view from any of the windows either.
Oh yeah, no, it's fine. We're in a town. We're just gonna knock out right now.
Yeah. So all of you can regain all your hit points.
Sweet.
And
I gain +0.
Officially leveled up at the moment.
You've already been officially leveled up.
Okay. All right. Cool.
Yeah, I don't think any of us have taken damage or used any spells or anything. So, all right, Leah just kind of sings to herself a little chant, little drunken chant, and passes out.
You should just go out and find some rabbits and shit around the border, so we don't have to pay for breakfast.
The food is included.
Okay, cool.
Why am I gonna hunt in the night? I'm trying to sleep.
In the morning, in the morning. We've woken up by this time, right? Like we're.
All right, so it's just.
Looking Delgado.
So it's morning now. We're back in the tavern.
So as you wake up, the sun, peeks through the windows.
Except mine.
I'm gonna. Oh, that's not what I wanted.
He wants to duel the pillow.
So you walk down and you challenge the.
That's so good.
I challenge. What's his name? Fuck. I'm losing everyone's names.
Toblin.
Toblin.
Yeah. So you walk
Goblin.
down.
I'm hungover and I'm like, Toblin, come here. We're gonna wrestle.
Toblin sees you and he says, I trust you slept well. And he says, can I bring you any breakfast?
What you got? What goes good with ale? What goes good with ale?
The most expensive breakfast you have and a glass of ale.
He chuckles and he says, I'll bring the standard breakfast.
What the what?
And he as you're kind of waking up and everything, he sets the tables with some eggs and some bacon and big glasses of just fresh water.
I guess this inn doesn't have a menu.
Delicious. Alright, so we're having breakfast. Sildar with us?
As you're eating, Sildar kind of walks through the door, and he says, oh, you're up, finally. And
Finally, he says.
You can tell he looks like he's, wide awake. He's all fully dressed, and he says, I was just speaking with the Townmaster. He does not have a high opinion of you four.
Why did you bring us up? Why you shouldn't have?
What do you mean?
Finally, we are early risers.
Actually, this is a good time. Like, we asked Sildar, what time is it?
They don't. He says. I mean,
Like,
what do you mean? It's morning.
Like the sun. Like the sun. Where's the heck is this? How much day is left?
Like, is it midday?
How late
right
is
now?
it?
No, it's the
How
morning.
long did we see? Oh, okay.
What do you mean? It's the
You
morning.
said we woke
So
up
you're
late.
exaggerating is what you're doing right now.
And he says, I mean, I wake up.
So he
well
woke up
before
like.
the sun.
Poppycock.
Okay, now that's kind of cool. I like that in a Sildar. I like those in Sildars. He woke up when it's just barely light out.
Because you know multiple.
He's
Sildars.
ready. Yeah, I know.
Right,
I know a whole one Sildars.
Yeah,
And I look
he
over to
says,
Sildar and I'm like, why did you mention us? I told you not to.
Yeah, that was not a good idea, Sildar.
He says, well, he actually brought you up. He's
Oh,
quite
no.
flustered still.
Oh,
okay.
And he says, but I did learn. I did find some information, and he says, I'm now quite certain that Gundren must be at Cragmaw Castle, and he says, I've spoken to some of my contacts in Neverwinter, and I'm able to scrounge up a reward to cover your costs. And he says, I'll be able to pay you 500 gold if you can find the castle and drive off or defeat the chieftain and hopefully find Gundren alive, or if not dead.
So are you satisfied with your questioning around town, Sildar?
He says, I still have much to do. I need to locate
All right.
Yarno.
Well,
and he
yeah,
says,
because that's why I was asking. Because it's like if you're not busy, come with us to the manor.
To make here, but if you wouldn't mind checking out the manor, that would be ideal. We can split our efforts and hopefully find
Alright.
him.
Fair enough.
So
I
wait,
guess.
Sildar wants to just gather more info while we go explore.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the intel.
Sildar's been talking to
Okay.
people around town, trying to
Okay,
find
okay.
his ally, Yarno.
I guess there's a lot,
Like,
so many
great,
people
Sildar,
around
like-
town that keeps him busy for 2 days.
Be like, great, you know.
Well, I mean, he arrived with you in the evening and just came to Stonehill, so he didn't do anything that day, and then he
Alright.
woke up this morning, so he's talked to no one other than
What?
the Townmaster.
Freaking yesterday, you said he asked people about stuff and
Well,
learned
just
about.
in the inn.
All right.
Right, so I'm gonna ask Sildar, like, while we're off, adventuring, we're gonna let you know whether we're gonna go to Tressendor or we're gonna go out into the wild, but do you have any way of relaying information to us while we're out investigating these situations? Like, does he know, basically I'm asking is, does he know how to fucking use a messenger pigeon?
Or maybe a
and
divination scroll.
And he says, I should be able to
Whoops.
to figure something out.
Great, awesome.
All right. I was hoping.
you
I was hoping
have
he'd
that.
be backup, but I guess intel's good too.
Yeah, no,
He mentioned that, and
wants to gather.
Sildar kind of, you can tell, like, he gets a little nervous, and he goes, I think I'll need a little while to recuperate from my ordeal in the cave with the goblins.
Dude,
Be like, when you
freaking.
do, we should train. That was part of the Neverwinter Guard.
And he kind of looks and he says, oh, well, that explains your fighting prowess.
It's
Yeah.
trying to make fun of me because I ran that one time.
Oh snap! He's coming at you.
I mean, he was unconscious, so he didn't.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
No, he was pretending to be. Either way, so yeah, I'll be like, all right, awesome. We'll let you know if we do plan on heading somewhere far. That way, you can somewhat try to relay a message to us if you find something important.
I look at Sildar kind of a little disappointed, like, Sildar, I was killed in one shot to the face, and I'm bubbling around. What? Come on, Sildar, you gotta recover faster than that. You've got this. You can do this.
He looks at that,
Man,
and you can
has to
tell
take
he's
a
not
step.
very happy with you, kind of like insulting his strength. And
No, I'm trying to tell him,
I'm-
come on, let's go.
He
Trying to rally him.
to his room.
Oh boy, poor Sildar.
I just pat him on the back of the street, like, thank you, do what you can for us while we're off and about. As he runs off.
I guess his.
I like to point out that Arj has breathed fire onto his food and burned it because that's how he likes his food. Side flavor right there. He's burned his food because that's how dragons eat food.
Is that really?
No.
But that's what he tells us. He tells us, oh, this is how dragons eat
He's
food.
like, I like it crispy. So now it's you and me basically, because the other two are enthralled by whatever it is that they're doing.
All right, so I look at Eve confused, like, what happened to these other guys? Why are they look hypnotized?
Arj
Whatever.
was not in his right mind. That's cleric yesterday. We're finished with breakfast, right? Basically.
Mhm.
And
Right, so
I
I'm gonna
mentioned
go
to
over
Eve,
to the Shrine of Luck.
I'm not gonna stay here. If he's not serving ale, I don't need to stay here. So I go with Eve. And while we're walking there, I'm like, I feel bad. I didn't mean to insult Sildar.
You're walking over to the shrine.
Okay, don't worry about it.
And you see someone there clearly kind of caring for the shrine. It's a very small shrine, just kind of made of stones taken from the nearby ruins. And as you get closer, you see it's dedicated to Tamora, who's the goddess of luck and good fortune. You see the lone occupant for now is just a young elf woman. Who's,
full elf, not
just,
a half elf, a full elf.
Full elf, just kind of tidying up
Slim
the
and short.
rocks and getting it ready for the day kind of thing. And she looks up as she sees you and she goes, "Oh, welcome. I'm not sure that we've met. I am Sister Garale."
What's she
Spell
wearing?
That, please, for the love of God, spell that.
Garaele.
Hello,
By the way,
friends.
were the other
No.
spellings in the chat correct?
I mean,
Close
it's
enough.
probably not a surprise at this point. I am going to head off because I'm.
Yeah,
fucking,
that's
I
I think
feel
we're
like
boy.
fucking
we're
shit.
close as well, so
We're most likely
not
just
that
going to
much.
talk a bit more to like townspeople.
So
and
long
then
as I'm
try
like not missing out on a massive fight or anything.
No. I wouldn't.
See you later.
later, Cap. All right, we are nowhere close to calling this, by the way.
Aw, yeah. I imagined where we're gonna leave off is like we're approaching the manor and then scene.
If for some reason we might not go to the manor, we're gathering info all fucking day, then that's what it is.
Woo! Let's spend 4 hours gathering info.
Yeah, let's see what happens. We don't know what's gonna happen.
When she sees you,
herself,
she smiles, she introduces herself, and she,
Oh, that's right. I know Elven.
I'm like, hello, my name is Evan Dura. This is Leo.
Yo, I mean,
this-
hi.
Did you make this shrine on your own?
she says, yeah. For after the since the town's been being rebuilt, with the help of some people around town, we gathered up rocks and dedicated this shrine to the goddess Tamora.
And obviously, I can tell she's an elf. So
Yeah, and
You
you
know,
look at
you-
her, and she's dressed in long like robes, clearly like a.
obviously, I can't tell
acolyte.
what age she is because elves look the same between 100 and 200
Yeah.
years old. So like,
She's
were
not a
you-
child, and she's not a.
Yeah, she's not a child and she's not an elder yet. So I'd be like, oh, were you around when the town was ransacked? Like, how long have you been here? Is what I'm trying to ask you.
She says, "No, I'm not actually from here. I was sent here to
Sent?
watch over the people and she kind of looks around and gather information.
Sent by who, if I may ask?
And she gives you like she looks you up and down and seeing that you're clearly adventurers. She kind of leans in and she says, "I'm a member of a group called the Harpers." And she tells you that they're a scattered network of adventurers and spies who.
Eve actually says that he goes horrors.
Yeah, she looks at you. And she looks at you like you might be slow. And she says, "Harpers."
Okay, sorry.
And,
It's
and
early
she
in the
says-
morning and I was very drunk last night.
She says, "Our goal, and she kind of explains." And she turns as a
And she
dog
starts
is barking.
barking.
She says, we stand against tyranny in all its forms, and aid the weak, the poor, and the oppressed.
Fuck.
It's kind of
Now I'm at a loss
interesting
words.
how-
I got really distracted by the dog.
It's kind of interesting how quickly she trusted us with
Yeah,
that
well,
I
information.
mean,
saw us, we're adventurers.
She
you know.
yeah,
clearly
but-
is aware of who you are because she's obviously heard rumors of these newcomers in town. So she knew who you were, and she
Right.
saw that you were clearly adventurers who had rescued Sildar, who was well regarded. So
So I'm be like,
Hmm.
is there anything that we might be able to do while we're here to help you and I guess the Harpers?
she pauses,
Um,
and you can tell that right when you said that, something kind of popped into her head, but she was reluctant to kind of just come out with it right away.
Can I make
but,
a persuasion roll for it then?
Sure.
I freaking
Or,
give
or tell
Eve.
me what she was gonna say first. Sorry, I don't want to preemptively do
Well,
this.
she hasn't said anything. She's just kind of thinking, and she's kind of
Like,
looking at you. You get the feeling she's kind of trying to decide whether she can trust you or not.
I give Eve a tap, going like, "You're gonna fill our quest log. I'm gonna be maxed out on these quests."
Does that count as advantage?
No.
Alright, so I'm just gonna roll a regular persuasion check, being
Yeah.
like, look, we're here to help.
Yeah.
You know, anything that we could. Oh fuck.
The 3. I mean, but you look at her. You can tell she wants someone to help her. And so you kind of stumble over the words, but if anything, that kind of if anything, it endears her to you. She realizes that you're not. You clearly didn't. She realizes you clearly didn't come here to try to scam her out of the information, because there's no way someone this like bad at speaking could possibly convince anyone. So
some guiding hand of fate going on here.
She says, hilariously, you did pass the difficulty that I set for that.
You actually did?
All right, tell me what it was. Tell me.
It was
5.
It was super easy. She wants to tell you.
Yeah, I know, but still, 7 was like pretty low.
Yeah,
Leah chortles.
She says, well, there is one thing. My superiors recently discovered some information about a spell book that they've been searching for. And they were told that a banshee named Agatha may know something. I went to her lair, but she didn't appear for me. And she says, I've been looking for someone to bring Agatha the banshee a gift, and she pulls out a silver jeweled comb, and she says to persuade the creature to tell me what she knows about a spellbook belonging to someone named Bowgentle. And she says,
okay, that has to be the most hilarious name I've ever heard.
I know, right?
Continue.
I know, mage names, dude. And she says, I from what I know of banshees, I think that someone who could flatter her may be able to trade the comb for an answer, but unfortunately I lack the silver tongue. And she kind of looks at and then she pauses and looks at Evan, and then hands it to Leah.
Word.
After Evan,
Leah smirks and nods her head a little bit.
I mean,
there goes the donation I was gonna make to the shrine.
This woman who wanted to confide and almost didn't because of this bumbling coercion attempt by Evan, but she can tell you're a good man, and she sees the markings of the Paladin Order on you, and that probably is one of the reasons. And she says, I don't have any money. All the money I have goes to the poor, but I can offer you some potions of healing if you manage to help me.
Do you know any healing spells?
Much appreciated. Oh, you can learn that from her?
No, I mean, like, if we come back to town and maybe we have a disease or something, maybe she's someone we can go talk to and be like, hey, can you help us out with this real quick?
So would you be able to heal us?
She says, alas, I can only brew the potions. I have no magical gifts.
Freaking Harper Agent Pure over here.
They would be much appreciated, and if you may, could you point us to the way of her lair where you went to see if you could contact her?
She could give us like a map or something, right?
These might save our lives, and
so she knows. In our bag. So she knows where.
They could save our freaking lives.
She pulls out a piece of paper and draws like a rough kind of sketch.
Yeah, rough area.
In the woods, and she marks an X kind of in the woods, but she doesn't know exactly where.
I mean, any direction is appreciated.
Yeah.
Is Leah familiar with this section of the woods?
No.
Is there any section of the wood Leah is familiar with?
I mean, you're not familiar with these hidden areas.
Hold on, give me 1 second. So what potions did Sister Garile give
Minor
us?
healing?
She didn't give you anything.
She will,
right?
I
have these potions, and
as a reward for helping her.
Oh, it's the reward.
I thought she was just giving them.
No.
Okay, our characters aren't as confused as we are, though. They're keeping it cool.
No, they are aware of social situations, except for Evan, who I don't know called her mother a pig or something by accident when he was trying to convince her.
What?
Fucking 7.
I think that's a little bit much. I think that's a little far.
I called her Grail.
You called her Grail.
And as after she's distracted as someone comes up to the shrine and they start talking while you guys are there.
Well, I'm gonna kneel down. I'm gonna pray to what was it?
I don't know what religion I am, but I'm assuming.
It here, and I also don't have it.
I'm assuming I could still get a benefit from the shrine, even.
Okay, I'm gonna pray to Tamora shortly, and also, pray to where is he? Tempest.
Sure. What do you say?
So I'm just gonna, pray to Tamora to please help us in our quest to find these very well thought of, I guess, upstanding people that have gone missing. To,
Sure. As you're praying, just kind of out of the corner of your ear, you hear Sister Garrelay talking with the person that was just at the shrine, and both of them are just complaining about the Redbrands.
Right, of course.
You can tell Garrelay.
Leah's ears perk up.
Garrelay is clearly, as an upstanding young woman or old woman, you don't know. She clearly wants them gone.
Right, and as I'm done with that, and I'm gonna pray to Tempest, and to Tempest, I'm praying that he helps guide my sword to be able to bring vengeance down on these bandits.
Leah understands that Harpers are like a secret agent group, right?
I mean, she only knows what Garrelay told her, and she didn't say that they were secretive.
She
told you that she was one.
So she is of the Harpers, and they're against tyranny, and that's all Leah knows.
They fight against tyranny in any form.
All right, well, I just want to... But I heard her say Redbrand, and while freaking Eve is praying over there, I want to just ask her, like, hey, do you know anything about the Redbrands? Maybe something useful? A tip? Advice?
She said, and when you ask for a tip, she says, yeah, avoid the sleeping giant if you value your coin.
Awesome. So good.
Wait, did you see our coin?
Well, yeah, I mean...
Because they're going to jump us. Sorry, never mind. Either way, I wasn't listening. I'm praying to Tempest.
I just give her a very neutral thanks.
I'm going to go ahead and, assume that Tempest doesn't actually guide me in any kind of way.
Well, you don't get any sign. You don't feel ignored, but you don't, nothing. He doesn't...
I feel like I've been heard, but not replied. So I'm going to look over to Leah. Be like, what do you think we should do now?
Well, real quickly, I go like, oh, I just got this really important tip. Redbrands are over in the Sleeping Giant. Freaking
know this? Have you been since we got here?
Leah freaking smirks up and starts laughing like you're like, I'm screwing with you, man. Relax.
Right.
It's just like the 5th time I've heard someone go, oh, careful, the Sleeping Giant.
Well, I remember
Eve, you're so serious.
I remember somebody mentioning Darren. So, can I ask Garrelay if she knows where Darren might be?
She says, "Oh, yeah," and she points over to the west to the orchard. She says, "Yeah, he's a retired adventurer. He runs the apple orchard."
So, all right, we're gonna. Leah, you agree? Head on over there. Or do you want to go off and do something on your own while I do this? Run off like Arj did, and like run into the sleeping giant and be like, fireballs.
I was thinking about that.
As you get up to the orchard, you see kind of out amongst the trees, you see a fit silver-haired half elf. He looks clearly he's well over 100 years old.
Oh, Leah gets excited to meet another half elf.
And he's just tending to the trees, and he notices when you guys are about 50 meters off. His ears perk up and he notices you, and he kind of eyes you as you walk up the path.
I'm gonna slow my pace so that Leah walks in front of me. Since also half elf. They might have they have that kind of bond, like, oh, we're both strangers to both.
Oh yeah.
Kind of thing. So I'm gonna slow my pace and let Leah take the lead.
Sure. As you get closer and you can kind of see, you notice he's very, he's standing very upright, and clearly he's very, even though he's well over 100, he's very fit, and you can tell, this is someone who's, seen their fair share of battle and adventure.
In Elven, I go, brother, how are you today? Yeah.
He turns to you
excited.
And in common, he says, it's very rude to speak in a language that not all those present understand.
No, listen, Eve's my friend. Don't worry about him. Listen. If I tell you something important,
if he's your friend, why would you seek to hide our conversation?
All he said was, "Hey, brother."
Common, so you hear him as well.
I was gonna switch to common after. I just wanted to be friendly real quick in Elven.
When I paced back, let her go forward, I'm honestly just looking over my notes, trying to think of our next move. So I'm not even paying attention to this conversation right now.
Actually, real quick, I'm
standing off to the side, just looking at my book. And if he's your friend, I'll be like, what?
But at his questioning me, I said the strike suddenly thought to me a thought suddenly strikes me, and I look at Eve and go like, "Hey, what languages do you know?"
Common and giant. And I go back to reading.
All right, so I look back at Darren and go, "So I heard you're a former adventurer."
And he turns to you and he says, "Yes. What of it?"
Can you share some stories? It's so cool to meet another half-elf and one that's been a successful adventurer. That's awesome. I'm a fresh adventurer. I'm baby adventurer.
He says, "I prefer not to talk about those times," and you can tell he's not really. You don't know why, but he doesn't seem to really enjoy you.
Enjoy me.
He doesn't openly.
He's pretty
dislike
reclusive.
You, well, and
kind of introverted.
I have a feeling it's more you and not.
Yeah, but I'm just.
You don't know why. He says, "The only story I care about is getting rid of the Redbrands and taking care of these orchards."
Okay. Well, since
and then he thinks for a second and he says, "Although there is one thing that perhaps you four could help me with." And he says he's heard stories from prospectors in the hills to the northeast that someone's been digging around in the ruins of a place that he calls the Old Owl Well. And he says that even more worryingly, some of the prospectors have told him that they were chased from the well by undead. And he says, my adventuring days are well behind me, but perhaps you could visit the ruins. And he points it out on your map, and he says it's a couple days march northeast of town, and find out what's going on.
Leah is visibly excited.
As soon as I heard the words undead out of the corner of my ear, I started paying attention.
And he tells you that the ruins are an old watchtower of an ancient magical empire known as the Netheril.
Please, for the love of God, spell that.
That is actually my world. Like, I made that up.
Oh,
cool.
And he says dangerous magic. He worries that magic maybe lie dormant there because of the ancient empire.
Netheril is a real place.
He's directed most of this to you, Evan, just off the trail, just in the woods or in the hills. Sorry.
All right. Well, since he's an old adventurer, I ask him, like, does he have any advice on when we go to these ruins, dealing with undead? Is there any? Would these ruins be trapped?
He says avoid the tavern. No.
Avoid the sleeping giant. Careful. There's some undead in there.
Sir, I'm done with the sleeping giant avoiding right
now. He says those days are long behind me.
But
wouldn't he remember?
I'm sure you would know much more than I.
What?
I mean,
you can tell he doesn't want to talk about it.
All right, fair enough. All right. Well, since you want the Redbrands gone, we know they've been terrorizing the sleeping giant. Do you have any advice for how we might deal with the Redbrands if we were to go down on that quest?
Do we just fireball the tavern?
Should we blow up the tavern?
He says and when you mention the Redbrands, he says it's time. It's time to teach. He thinks they need to be taught a lesson, and he tells you about someone, the Redbrand's leader, named Glassstaff.
Oh, finally.
Glassstaff.
Yeah.
Where's my Redbrand notes? Oh, here we go.
And he says, and he tells you about the sleeping giant, but then he also mentions that he's seen a lot of suspicious characters coming and going from under the Tresdenar Manor, which is the ruin at the east edge of town, and he says his years of adventuring have taught him anything. It's that clearly they've set up some sort of camp or base in the manor, or the root, what's left of it.
Can I ask him if he knows about Yarno? He went missing near that manor.
He says he noticed someone poking around, but he didn't know who it was, and he doesn't recognize the name.
Alright, so it seems like the lackeys like to hang out in the sleeping giant, but Glassstaff is most likely always going to be near the manor's camp that they've set up.
Alright, well, I thank him for his wisdom.
And he tells you, they're not an army. They're just townspeople that live in their own houses and just like to fuck shit up.
Right, of course. But if we take out Glassstaff,
well, so when there's 20 to 30 of them, they're not all walking around in regiment. It's like five guys wander around beating up a store guy, and then
Right. No, of course.
Leah just feels sad that he didn't warm up to her, because it's like half elves are rare, and she's been in a tribe from possibly like one of the first half elves she's ever seen in her life, and she just feels sad that it's like it didn't go very well.
While she's brooding in the corner.
Not brooding.
You're brooding in the corner. While she's
what corner?
Just say something to her in Elvish. She's been an outcast for a while.
I mean, he looks at you and I don't have time for this, and he wanders off.
Out of character, I look at you and go, "What the heck are you talking about? Why would that help Leah? He's obviously not an open guy."
It might be like, yay. I don't know.
I don't know why I have to be brooding. I'm not. I don't know. I just feel kind of sad.
So I guess he walks off, right? He's like done with us.
Yeah, I mean, he's not mad. He's just like,
he's just like, that's about as much as I know. Yeah. Goodbye.
He's just very neutral about the whole thing.
And he doesn't like that he tried to bring up his past and stuff.
All right, well,
he's clearly trying to move on with his orchard.
All right, dang. Right. He's an adventurer. I was curious.
I'll mention to Lee, I'll be like, there was a man named Dendar. They said he was murdered and his family went missing. He was the woodworker. Should we check that out first?
I don't know if we really find any new information. If you think we can find clues there, but it's been 10 days. I don't know.
So, all right. So, as we're talking, we're going to walk back towards the center. And I guess we're going to be near the Shrine of Luck, right?
Mm-hmm.
So can I wave down Sister Garrelay again?
Sure. She comes over. What can I help you with?
Big sister, I was wondering if you could help me. Do you know anything about Dendar?
And she says, well, I mean, if you're referring to what happened to him, yes, everyone in town knows what happened.
But they say that his family went missing.
I hadn't heard that. I heard now that she says now that you mention it, I haven't seen his wife or daughter around town lately, and she looks really worried.
Point us to their home. See if maybe they're holed up in there. Maybe they're too scared to come out.
She points to the south, just just across the street from the Coster, and says, "Yeah, and she points to the woodworking house."
Before we leave, I'll be like, thank you, but is there anything I can do to help you with your shrine?
She smiles and says, "No, I have this taken care of. Thank you, though."
All right, so we're gonna run off to the woodworker house.
The door and all the windows are all boarded up. There's a thin layer of dust as you kind of walk up to the main porch. It doesn't look like anyone's been here in a while.
Leah, do you have a crowbar?
That's a good question.
I don't know who has it, but I'm pretty sure someone has one.
Someone has it. I'm just
everyone starts rifling through their packs.
I basically forget that we have Arj and everyone else with us on. I'm gonna be like, all right, wait here. I'm gonna run over to Barthen's.
Sure. takes you about 15 minutes to run.
What the fuck? That's not that long.
It's a long way.
It's bullfuck. Okay.
I conjure a lollipop.
You're wearing fucking heavy armor and shit.
Whatever, bro. I'm walking. I mean, I'm proficient though.
Maybe I should have. Maybe I should have been the one to run over.
Whatever. I'm already on my way. I dealt with Barthen before. I'm like, you know what? Maybe he'll hook me up real quick.
Yeah. So you walk in. Barthen remembers you and he says, "Hello. What can I do for you?"
Like, Barthen, I need a crowbar.
He looks at you and he says, "Now, what would you need that for?"
I'm trying to get into Darren's home to try to figure out what happened to his family.
And he says, "Well, I mean, everyone in town knows what happened to Darren."
Well, I know that they went missing, but I'm trying to find more clues as to why or how or anything that would help us try to find these people that have been terrorized by
a huge boot print in the middle of the room
by the Redbrand.
Sure. So he looks at you, but he goes, "All right. Just let me look," and he goes into the back and he comes back with a big bar metal. He says, I can give this to you for 2 gold pieces and a promise that you won't do anything I wouldn't do." And he gives you a little wink.
Well, what would he do? We don't know.
That's what the wink was for. So he basically do anything. I'm gonna try to open the door. He said the door was boarded up, right?
Yeah. So you put the crowbar up to the door. And just as you're about to pull, the door just swings open.
Eve, why didn't you just open the door? Why did you get a crowbar?
I tunnel visioned, and I'm sorry, and I'm sorry to whoever just. Wait, who opened the door? Yeah, can I see?
No one opened. It's just swung open. But as you kind of poke your head in, you see that it's.
Oh. I thought there was wooden planks on the door. I thought the door was boarded up too.
No, but as the door swings open, you see that it's actually just like a covered patio, and inside there's a much sturdier looking door, so that you're kind of on the patio to the woodcutter's house.
A strike suddenly. I keep saying it wrong. A thought suddenly strikes Leah. Eve, why don't we just check her back door?
Everything seems boarded, and I don't want to seem like I'm trying to sneak in. I want to be very upfront.
You're a paladin. You look good.
Whatever, bro. So wait, the door wasn't boarded, you're saying?
The first door.
The first door that opens into like the little patio wasn't. You haven't looked at the other door.
Yeah, I'm trying to get like the front door of the house. Like if I open this door, I'm getting into the house. Is that boarded?
Yeah. So you try the handle and it's clearly locked.
Oh, okay. So I'm gonna crowbar the shit out of that.
Is there?
Sure. Give me a strength check with advantage because you're using crowbar.
Whatever. I'm just gonna roll again.
That's a save, not a.
Either way, there we go. 20.
Yeah. So you put your weight behind the crowbar and you manage to get the door open and it just kind of swings open. And you look into the house and it's dark because the windows are all boarded up and you see there's no sign of anyone. It's tough to see though because it's so dark.
I search for traps.
All you have is the light coming in from the front door, and that's kind of being filtered by the walls that are covering this little veranda type thing that you're standing on now.
I cast magic missile.
No, please God, no.
I guess we'll just pop out a torch.
Yeah, no, I was about to say I have candles.
Because I can
how much would a candle?
I can make lights with prestidigitation, but I don't think they'll be persistent unless there's a source for the fire.
No, you can literally make a light in thin air.
It'll stay?
Yeah.
All right, cool. I freaking popped that sucker up. A little floating flame.
Yeah, that's for an hour. It's literally just like a floating ball of light, like a tiny sun.
I call him Sparky.
Prodigious,
isn't it?
Prestidigitation.
For that fucking thing.
The thing.
You can create like a shower of sparks, or you can light a candle or torch.
Oh.
So you actually need it to, and you don't see, looking around, you don't see like a torch or anything in the house.
So do you have a torch you could use, or I have 10
candles. Arch has torches. Yeah, Arch has torches.
Arch has torches. All right, so get rid of one of his torches, or maybe not get rid of, because we're just gonna snuff it out real quick.
It illuminates the inside. It just looks like a normal house.
Okay.
You don't see. It doesn't look like anyone's been in here for at least 10 days, which is what you kind of knew. Or like that's when he was murdered. You see.
Does our passive perception let us notice anything?
Nope.
How big is it?
What were we gonna say?
Give me a perception check.
Just a regular.
God, that sucks ass. Yeah, just perception. Oh my God, we're.
All right, but if we add them together, though.
Yeah, so all four of you are kind of looking around. None of you notice anything out of the ordinary, other than the fact that it doesn't seem like anyone's been here in a week.
I noticed a dust bunny.
Who boarded up the home? Like what?
The boards looked like they were boarded up from outside, not from inside, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know, but like curiosity is, did the family board it up and leave, or things like that? Like who did? Because that's important. Because if the family did, that means they ran.
If the family was
looking
leaving,
around,
why would they board up the home first?
You see, looking around, you see in upstairs, you see clothing in the drawers, and you see there's food in the ice box that's starting to spoil. Right. It doesn't look like anyone left here it doesn't look like anyone packed up and left.
Yeah, so they either left in a hurry or they were just abruptly taken from their home.
Is there any drink?
No.
It's spoiled by now. All right, so I guess we're gonna leave. Because I've already done a perception check. I can't do another one, right?
I mean, you could.
Well, was it technically a passive perception?
I'm not gonna perception check over and over again until I find something. Like, does it make sense for me to do another perception check right now?
I investigate for 12 hours.
I don't know what's there. I mean, I think you have all the information you probably could find.
Yeah, that's why I don't want to just sit in one place and just be like perception check.
Well, I mean, that in that kind of case, I'd just tell you, like if you said I spent an hour looking, then I'd just tell you what there is to find, and there isn't anything.
Yeah. All right. So yeah,
mainly because I had to make that location up. It doesn't exist.
What, the woodworker's house?
Yeah.
Now that this has been spoiled for us, and I'm not gonna spend an hour looking for shit.
Yeah. Well, I don't want you to. That's why I told you.
I find a jade frog statue.
Also, Arj got a natural 20. So.
Oh my god!
See, you could have told us that.
No, but yeah, exactly. But you don't know what I mean. What is a dice roll?
I mean, we would have known if he was actually here. We would have seen his roll. Either way.
As you head back into the street, you see 4 armed ruffians waiting for them. All of them are humans, and they're all wearing grimy red cloaks, with their hands on their weapons as they watch you. And one of the ruffians spits on the ground. He says, "Time for you to move on, strangers. Give us your stuff and be on your way."
So I'm gonna look at them and be like, Redbrand? I'm just gonna ask them like, Redbrand? That's all I'm gonna say.
He laughs and he says, "As if you don't know," and they start to circle around you.
Javelin to the. Okay, what do you want to do?
Leah goes okay and starts walking away because with the implication that I don't have anything to hand over.
They're focused on her as she's walking away, right?
I mean, as she starts to walk away, they draw their weapons. Roll for initiative.
Oh come on! I wanted to throw the javelin. I never get to do a sneak attack.
You're why are you trying to play as a rogue when you're
You're avoiding me doing sneak attacks with my javelin.
That wouldn't have been a sneak attack, though.
Yeah, they would have seen you.
Well, not a sneak attack, but I mean just like
a surprise round.
Surprise.
You don't get a surprise round. What the? As you're pulling out the javelin, you think they're gonna be surprised when you throw it at them? No
I mean, kind of. Yeah, they're like, drop your shit, and then just like
surprise.
Okay.
Surprise is very rare.
I look at him confused because it's like, I thought you wanted us to leave. I'm leaving.
Since we weren't
I'm walking
on a map.
away.
No, they didn't want us to leave. They wanted us to give us their shit.
I'm just a poor Outlander
give
girl. I
them
don't have
shit.
anything to give. You want this elk horn? You want this elk horn? This is what I have.
As this is happening, can I like throw the quarterstaff at Leah?
You can toss it to him.
Yeah,
sure.
Like would that count as an action, or like as soon as I notice things going down?
I'll say that's what causes them to get mad. How about?
Like I throw the quarterstaff at Leah. So
like we're 2 Jedis getting ready to fight. Here's your lightsaber. Woo! And
it's a stick. It's not hard to throw. It's not like I'm throwing a sword at you.
No
matter which way you catch it, you're gonna be okay.
Another staff for my family of sticks named Staff.
Wait, you already have a quarterstaff?
Not a quarterstaff. It's just a staff. It's a stick named Staff, and it's my arcane focus.
You know what? This is your new stick named Staff. You got 2. You're gonna. I'm
gonna dual wield them. Actually, technically, I think I can have one in each hand, but it just doesn't. I can't use the focus as a weapon.
A quarterstaff is a 2-handed weapon.
Roll your initiative.
What? We're actually gonna fight without anyone else?
Yeah, it's just a small one.
All right.
So it's just gonna be me and Leo.
I'll do.
He'll control man.
Yeah, at least like Arj or something.
There's my thing.
I'll do Arj.
I am so. Wait a minute, where's my character?
Idiot.
Yeah, he did.
No, I didn't.
Didn't add to the turn order.
All right,
I'm keeping you at 4.
I'm fine with that.
No, put his ass at 20.
I don't care either way.
I'm up. These 4 motherfuckers drew their weapons, right?
Yep.
Oh, what weapons do they have?
Who cares?
Well, you see some swords.
All right, some swords. No scimitars this time.
Walk up to homie. So that's definitely not my whole movement. And I'm just gonna attack him with my longsword.
Yeah, so you catching him pretty unawares. He wasn't ready for you to attack him right away.
He wasn't ready.
You get a pretty good swipe in, and you clearly wounded him. He's huffing and puffing, but he's standing strong, and he's okay.
Yeah, actually, what weapons did they draw? What do they have that we can see?
Swords.
You just see them holding some swords.
Right.
And they look like they're wearing some sort of leather.
I was gonna use my Shield of Faith on Leah anyways.
All right, let's just let's throw a firebolt at that man. Let's just get right in there. I did it.
So yeah, you conjure this bolt of flame and launch it at him, and it impacts into him, and he's looking. He's breathing hard. He's looking around, but he's not out.
Yeah, let's back up a little bit.
Behind you, you can't back up. You're right up against the wall.
The
house.
The
you
house.
Just walked out the door.
Dang it. I go in the house.
No, fuck off.
No.
If you want to stay safe, you could get near me. I can sense a lot of things.
I wonder if I could I use the door as partial cover, the door to the house?
I would take an action to open the door and everything.
get
All right.
over here.
Well, Eve calls out to me like, just like stand behind me. I will
like,
guard
stand-
you. And in
stand
my
by Arch.
in
Stand by
the past, he has done a good job of with these freaking whatever it is, vengeful strike whenever there's an attack of opportunity. Sentinel. So I trust that man.
They all rolled 16, or did you roll as a group?
You always just roll as a group.
Okay, I was like, what the fuck?
The first ruffian, who's looking a little injured, lashes out he makes 2 quick attacks.
2?
With his sword, like faster than you can really see.
What is he doing? Level 3 or 4 right now?
2.
But the first one just kind of glances off Evan's shield. The second one though finds a way in behind the shield and
got
connects with your
19
chest
plus?
for 6 piercing damage.
What the fuck did he roll?
What is it? Roll? Hello?
Oh, fuck off.
He got 20 for the second one. After seeing, their friends bloodied, this ruffian kind of rushes around, making sure to stay clear of this melee.
Of course he does. Of course he does.
I mean, he's not gonna run. Yeah,
of course he does.
Yeah, I mean, he's a smart guy.
Smart.
Of course he is. Yeah, he's a random like civilian.
Right.
That like is a smart guy.
Well, I mean, the goblin. It makes sense for the goblins to just
he's of
run
average
in.
Intelligence. He's not gonna.
Whatever.
He just saw
Continue,
you fucking
continue,
swing
continue,
around
continue.
with his sword. He's not gonna.
I'm being salty. Continue.
The first one, Arch kind of just like flicks his tail and deflects the blow, but he's not ready for the second one, which comes really quickly after it, and you can see a little bit of blood spill out between his scales, but Arch looks fine. The second ruffian charges into you, Evan, and he also makes 2 quick hits, and he connects with both of them, moving quicker than you can even see. Take 9 damage. Okay, and then this one charges towards Leah, seeing her cowering.
How
Cowering?
did he pass this mark?
Cowering?
1 feet from you. I mean, he was here.
Purpose. Yeah, I know. It's fine.
So it's a pretty straight line without going through. See?
Oh, so he went to Delgado. I thought you said Leo, because you were like, Leo was cowering.
No.
So I was like, did he cross me?
No, he went down here, like just straight ahead.
No, okay, cool.
And he takes 2 swipes. It connects with Delgado, but he just shrugs it off, like the armor catches it. The second one really digs into him, and he is looking very rough. He has 2 HP left.
God damn it, Delgado, you fuck.
Because he hasn't leveled up.
What? Oh my god.
Wait, did you not level him up?
No, because I can't pick for him. Delgado just glares at the ruffian to the left of Evan, and you can see under his breath he's like mouthing some words that you can't quite hear.
I finished a bottle of wine.
All of a sudden, the ruffian to your left just starts laughing hysterically at nothing.
Perfect.
Like literally on the ground, rolling. He sees you bleeding, Evan, and he just points and he's cracking up.
Cool.
Just lying on the ground laughing. Arj is gonna yell at you to look out, and then he's gonna use his breath weapon on these 3. Give me a dex save with advantage. Yeah, you're fine.
Okay, cool. So I just barely block it with my shield.
Yeah, well, he yells a warning to you, and you're able to just step back before. So the first one just takes it full in the face. The second one, seeing that, is able to kind of duck down, but he still takes it. And the third one is
he has an advantage against prone man, doesn't he?
Yep. He ducked down out of the way, or well, he was on the ground and it.
Oh yeah, he is
sailed
on
over
the
his
ground.
head.
So I guess it cancels out.
No, he had disadvantage in past.
Motherfucker rolls a natural 20
happens.
on a random fucking roll.
Well, I was.
For his wild magic.
Yeah.
That doesn't actually count, because isn't that a cantrip?
I think it's any
Don't roll on
any
cantrips.
spell.
No, it's only above level 1. So the one right in front of Evan, you watch as he's just incinerated. You just see a pile of ashes with a red cloak on top.
I gave Arj the finger guns.
Pow pow.
I'm like, hey.
Arj raises an eyebrow. He's not quite sure what the hell you're doing.
He knows.
Is that a paladin spell? Is
Yes.
that a Neverwinter
Yeah.
guard sign? Like
It's a
deep
Neverwinter.
side?
Yeah, you're up.
It's a guard thing, you wouldn't know.
He turns to see his friend incinerated, and just he starts laughing even harder.
I'm gonna attack that man on the left.
All right.
It's that man right there. All right. I'm gonna use magic missile. I'm gonna have all 3 of the magic beams
Attack
hit him.
the darkness.
That man's name is Darkness right now. Awesome. Great. So good.
Did you just roll the damage? Does magic what?
Yeah, magic missile always hits, so it's just
Is
damage.
Let me see.
Magic missile has always hit since Gen 1. Gen 1
I don't
Pokemon,
remember.
back in Charmander days.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, just that guy.
Yeah, so
I gotta take 7 damage.
Kind of concentrates, and you just see like this, like 3. They look like almost arrows, kind of like materialize in front of her, and then they just fire out towards the ruffian on the left here in front of Arj, and they impact, and you see him kind of stumble down to
Yeah,
his
wild
knees,
magic.
stumble down to his knees and start to like stand up, and then he just collapses to the ground dead.
Does Eve even know if I'm? I don't think they know I'm a wild sorcerer yet. They just know I'm a sorcerer.
I meant to say that as so big, but I just said it as homie.
It's never
It's
gonna
actually
happen.
more likely that something bad happens if you roll it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
You have to roll 1 through 100. If
Yeah,
he
but-
does roll a 1, right?
Yeah, but that's why I chose this roll. That's why I chose this
I
origin.
can't wait for the time where he rolls a 1 and then his other roll is a butterfly appears.
I'm feeling pretty safe here. I'm surrounded by buddies. That guy's laughing,
Alright,
and I have a
Evan.
feeling this guy's gonna run.
You lash out with your sword, and the ruffian who's been paying attention to Delgado, without even looking, just ducks down and gets out of the way.
Who are these
Dodges you.
people?
Madman.
They're doing some matrices. They got double attacks. What is up?
I'm gonna use compelled duel.
Okay, so you look into his eyes, and you see him just refocus on you. Like,
Cool.
it's like you're the only thing anywhere near him. It is him. So he is gonna, you can see he's like tunnel vision totally on you.
Of course.
And he makes 2 quick attacks with his short sword.
Two
The first one you block with your shield, and he swings around for the second one, and you catch it on your sword, blocking both. And he just glares at you, and starts swearing and insulting you. The second ruffian, who's currently just rolling on the ground, seems to regain his composure. Kind of sees you locked in combat with this ruffian, and charges towards you. And he makes 1 attack against you, which you don't see it because you're focused on this ruffian, and you just feel this impact on your back, but it just glances off your armor. And then Delgado, seeing these 2 remaining ruffians just kind of like totally focused on you, starts to mumble under his breath, and you see this ghostly skeletal hand kind of start to appear underneath the ruffian behind you. It lashes out towards
Nut check.
towards him, and you see it literally just grab onto his balls.
Ooh.
Yes.
And you see him kind of pause as he tries to figure out what this feeling all of a sudden is, and you see just this, you see him like the color drain from his face.
Oh my gosh.
And
If I thought crushing nuts was an option, I'd be mage handing all day.
this hand is just like grasped onto him, latched itself onto his balls. He kind of shakes it off and refocuses again.
The fuck? That's some legendary constitution right there. You just shrugged it off?
I mean, he took 4 fucking damage because it rolled a 3 and a 1 on a 2d8.
Directly to his balls.
He's used to having his balls groped.
He rolled
no.
2 d8s.
And he got a 3 and a 1.
And Arj, seeing this formerly giddy ruffian now clinging to his balls after this ghostly hand just like reached out, he charges towards the ruffian and swings with his mace, connecting, knocking the ruffian down and unconscious. Yeah, Leah, your turn. He's totally engaged with Evan, and so that he doesn't even see this ball of fire flying towards him, right at ball height.
Right at nutsack height.
Give me the damage.
We did it. We did it.
He kind of he kind of jumps, like Evan takes a swipe at him, and well, they're just kind of locked in the duel, and he kind of jumps, and the spell just kind of like goes right under him and still grazes him, but he didn't even notice that it hit him.
He burned his shorts. So I'm gonna, just go ahead and swing on homie. Oh,
yeah, so this guy, winded from jumping over your last blow, and you just got singed. Isn't even ready, and you kind of 1-2 punch him with the shield, and then stick your sword right into his chest. He looks up like at you, and just kind of starts cursing as he like pulls his sword back. Is that your turn?
That's yeah. Wait, do I have any? No, I don't have any spells.
Yeah. So seeing his friend down and kind of clutching this wound right in his chest, he looks towards the manor and starts to try to run away.
Of course he does.
All right, so yeah, the usual.
Yeah. So as he tries to run, you make a swipe and he just ducks down out of the way. But he is immobilized for the turn. Delgado starts to, under his breath, mutter what sounds like demonic sounds to you, and you see a beam of crackling energy streak towards him. It impacts into the ruffian.
Into his anus.
Knocks him onto the...
He does 2 damage because he rolled 2 1s.
Oh
knocks him onto the damage.
Knocks him onto the damage, yes.
Knocks him onto the damage.
No, he explodes as well.
You see his eyes roll back into the back of his head as he crumples to the ground.
I'm going to use some of the rope, and I'm going to tie up this guy.
Yeah, so I mean the battle's over.
While he's doing that, I'm searching pockets.
You pat him down. You don't find anything in any of their pockets.
No belt, no.
What kind of weapons did they have?
No weapon.
They were carrying a couple short swords, but they're kind of rusty and.
Okay.
Freaking everyone's weapons are rusty.
I mean, yeah, they're fucking bandits.
Brandos.
Freaking Leah just shakes her head. It's like freaking.
I mean, these guys look like they were probably newly recruited. Like the cloaks they're wearing have kind of holes in them, and their weapons
they're hand-me-downs.
are trash. The armor that they're wearing is leather, but it's like patchy. Like and some of them aren't wearing full sets.
He's unconscious.
So we recognize them as new.
Well, I mean, you assume that they might be new. You don't really.
Because I just thought of an idea. What about if we take a cloak and Eve disguises? So he's the red guy now.
Their cloaks. The one guy's cloak is totally incinerated, but the other 3 are probably fine.
We're gonna put all of them into the woodworker's home that we opened.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Sure.
Do I think the ashes?
As you were fighting, you notice the townspeople kind of gathered around to watch, so they all saw you.
That's fine.
None of them cared.
One of them started clapping a little bit.
Yeah, except you hear one voice shouting. You don't, and you notice it's the Townmaster, and he says, "Look, what have you done? You've doomed us all."
No, you're fine.
Shut up.
Shut your face.
And I drag them into the house, and I'll be like, "We'll be right back with more info."
I conjure mage hand to slap him in the face.
Can't.
Dang it! All right. Well, I use the cloak of one of the dead ones, and my mage hand to like help get the ash up all in one bundle, so I don't have to come back and forth. I can just get the ash.
We grab.
I want to hide. I want to hide the ash in the house too. Like no signs.
Everyone saw you.
No clues.
People.
That's fine.
There was literally a group of people watching you. Why are you hiding shit?
I'm not hiding them.
No, I know. I'm talking to him, not you.
Well, he said he wanted to put the bodies in the house.
Yeah, but I'm just
interrogating the guy.
I'm interrogating the one guy, and we're
just the one
guy's clothing. No, we're gonna use the other guy's clothing as disguises later.
Do I think the ashes would be useful as a material component for a spell in the future?
Everyone take 400 XP, by the way.
Okay.
Or no, sorry, 100 XP.
I was about to say that's a fuckload of XP for just our random bandits. Right, so homie was like, "What have you done?" Blah blah blah. I'm gonna get one of the cloaks, so now we only have 2. I'm gonna toss it at him. If you really tolerate these people, you might as well walk up to that manor and join them.
I mean,
Leah gives a hoot. Woo!
He says, "I tolerate them because the alternative is death."
No, the alternative
you don't
is
know what you've done. They're gonna kill everyone now. He says, "You don't know what you've done. They're gonna kill us all now." And he runs and he slams the door to the Townmaster hall.
Leah looks.
Does the crowd clap at me?
No, initially they were kind of cheering you on, and then after they hear what he says, they stop to think, and they kind of realize that he's probably right, and they kind of quickly disperse.
Not while I'm around, but okay, this person, whatever.
Leah looks up at Eve like, "Oh, you're so cool. That was so cool."
So that one's still outside. I guess we grab it before we go inside since he ran away without it.
Yeah. So you take the guy who's tied up now, drag him into the house. It takes about half an hour to an hour for him to wake up. Kind of comes to in this dark room lit only by a torch.
Can we have like either Arj or Delgado watch outside the house to see if anything's going on? To just knock on the door real quick if like they're raiding.
Yeah,
the town
sure.
or
So
something.
yeah, Arj will stand outside.
Not very subtle.
I mean, everyone
It's
saw
a
you.
big
drag
dragon
him in
man.
here. It's not a secret.
That's
it's-
fine. No, but I just want to know like if they start raiding the town.
Yeah. So.
Hey. Things going.
And so the guy kind of comes to, and he looks around, and he remembers what happened, and he's tied up to this chair in the middle of the room.
All right, I use my mage hand to slap him.
You can't. Mage hand doesn't do damage to things.
Yeah, but it's still physical, so it can still sting.
You conjure this hand in front of him, and you kind of try to get it to go towards him, and it just kind of like brushes up against him like a sensual touch.
What?
You don't want to feel that again, do you?
Yeah, I just start going like, yeah, you like this, huh? You don't like that, do you? And
It
gently rub
doesn't
it in.
interact with people.
It can't
do anything.
Either way,
No.
Because it's supposed to be physical.
I'm gonna try to intimidate him.
It's not physical.
But it can carry
Spectral
stuff.
floating hand.
So it can just carry stuff, but it's not physical. All
No,
right.
it can't do shit to him.
So
You're
I'm
a weird mage hand, you are.
I'm gonna grab him,
Oh, I thought the limit was 30 pounds. And
and
it
I'm
says
gonna
10.
try to like intimidate him into telling me where his leader is right now.
Sure, give me an intimidation check. Yeah, so you kind of grab him by the scruff of his neck, and you pick him up and you shake him, and you look down and you see a little puddle of pee forming, running out of his pants,
Wow.
and you get a closer look at him, and he doesn't look like he's more than kind of 18 years old. He's a
I
human.
don't give a shit.
And, he kind of stutters out. I'll tell you whatever you want to know.
So I put him back on the chair and I'll be like, "Where's your leader?"
He thinks for a second, and he says, "You mean Glassstaff?" And he says he lives in the manor.
Which one?
Underground. There's a cellar. He lives in the western end of our stronghold.
I want to know how they knew where to find us. Like how they knew we were outside of the Woodworkers.
Yeah. He says, I mean, you haven't made it a secret. Everyone in town knows where you are.
I don't give a shit. Like, how'd you know that we were in the Woodworkers' home? Who gave you that info?
No one gave us that. We just spotted you going in there, and we'd heard that you were asking around about us, so we decided to try to teach you a lesson.
That didn't work fucking well for you, did it?
He doesn't answer. He just kind of looks down.
I'm gonna deck him in the face.
Okay.
just cause.
Give me a strength check.
I'm not trying to kill him.
I know.
Okay. I'm not trying to knock him out either. I'm just trying to rough him up a bit.
Not one of your
If you
best
rolled too
throws.
high, he was gonna get knocked out. So.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just trying to
I mean, you hit him in the face. He doesn't look any more intimidated than he already was.
Yeah, I just want him to shit his pants at this point. I want a 2-for-1.
I whisper to Eve real quick. Hey, do you think we could use him as a pawn?
I mean, all right. So
As you're doing this, Arj kind of looks in, and he looks like he doesn't approve of what's going on.
Shut up, R.
He's not looking. His job is not to look in. His job is to look out.
Word, he's the lookout.
He's the lookout. He's not looking in.
Yeah, but I mean, he hears you kind of smack him after, for basically.
Oh, I
no
turn around
reason.
and be like, it's a good thing it's not you and it's me this time, isn't it? Be like, all right, you answer her questions or there's a sword in your mouth. I'm gonna go to the bathroom real quick. Leah's taking over right now.
Awesome. Great. So good.
The intimidation roll, I guess, carries over to him being scared shitless of her.
I mean, Eve is still standing behind me, so it's like
Yeah,
if I ask
I'm
him
there.
something, he'll look at me, and then he'll look
I'm
at
there.
Eve, and then he'll
My
answer.
sword is drawn and I've got like palm on hilt, like ready to just drive that thing right past Leah into his mouth. So I'm ready, but she's interrogating him for now when I go to the bathroom.
All right, I try to kind of play it as a good cop, where it's like I'm just like, hey man, listen, you know, obviously these people don't care that much about you. They gave you this rusty freaking sword. You know, that's not how you take care of your troops. So you know, might as well help us, and then when we get rid of them, then they won't come after you. You'll be safe from them, because we would have killed them.
Persuasion check.
We did it,
You
boys.
see him. You see. He's clearly still like terrified of
Eve.
Evan, and so you know he kind of latches onto this, and he starts nodding his head, and he just says, "Tell me what you want to know. I'll tell you anything."
All right, so how you've been to Tressendar's Manor or wherever their hideout is? Yeah, buddy, you've been there. Yeah.
He nods his head.
All right, I want you like, where exactly is the entrance in this manor? Do they hide in the manor, or is there like a hidden underground thing?
He says it's not hidden. It's the cellar.
Okay. Now, are there any traps or patrols that we should know about?
He says I just joined. I don't get to go to the manor. I just visit every now and then to take deliveries.
So he's never been in the cellar.
Inside. No.
All right. Well, is there anything inside the manor? That's any special thing inside the manor?
The manor's totally destroyed. There is no manor.
Oh, okay.
And they call him Glassstaff because he has a magical staff made of glass.
Ooh. And
They're not very clever with coming up with names. So yeah, human wizard. They call him Glassstaff. They don't know his.
And I imagine he's
name.
never seen without his special little staff.
I mean,
Leah writes a
rarely
note.
seen. He's rarely seen.
Leah writes a little note. Remember the staff, because I want that staff.
You learn more about Glassstaff. He's a human wizard, and they call him. They don't know his real name, so they call him Glassstaff because of his magic glass staff.
So I kind of rub his head a little bit, just kind of look. I'm not looking at him. I'm looking away and just kind of rubbing his head.
From your touch, like he thinks he's about to get hit.
Well, the arm came from behind him. I'm sitting on his lap and my arm's behind his head, rubbing his head. And I'm just like, so do you know about what kind?
Lap?
Yeah, I'm just sitting on his lap. Okay. I'm not even looking at him. I'm just kind of rubbing his
Pulls
head.
out a dagger and you're dead.
I imagine we would have searched him for weapons before we brought him in or something.
Well, he's tied up.
Yeah. So I'm like, okay. So what do you know about what their plans are? Do you know if they want anything? Do you know if they're talking to anyone outside of the village?
He says he's heard just from his friends about a mysterious figure that everyone keeps calling the Black Spider that hired the Redbrands to frighten off adventurers and intimidate the locals. That's what he was told to do. And he says that he almost didn't join them because the Black Spider also sent a group of bugbears to reinforce the Redbrands, and they live in the cellar. And they're just extra
Why
muscle.
didn't you say that when I asked you about the cellar? Could have told me about these bugbears in the cellar. That's an important... Listen, Clyde, that's an important piece of information.
I start looking really impatient with this boy. I'm like giddy to fucking shove that sword in his mouth.
He doesn't notice. He's already crying. He can't see anything through the tears. So
I get off his lap.
React.
All right, I put my sword away. You got off his lap, you said?
Yeah, I'm not gonna sit on him while he's crying.
I go up to him and I grab his face and I ask him what he's gonna do if I cut the ropes and let him walk out that door.
He says he'll run home to his mother.
Oh, yeah, real quickly, who is your mother?
Is your mother in the manor?
No, the manor is totally ruined. There is no.
No,
manor.
I know. I'm just. You run home to your mother. Like what? You run home to your boss? Is that your?
Like
mother?
where's your mother? Who's your mother?
No,
What's
like
this?
his mom, who doesn't live. She lives in the next town over.
So you're gonna run home. You're not gonna.
What's her name?
Right. I'm just gonna assume that you know that being a bandit is a very bad idea.
He kind of nods his head. I didn't even want to join. My friends made me.
The fuck? Peer pressure bandit.
I'm gonna slap him. Stop being an idiot. And I cut the ropes.
He as soon as you cut the ropes, he just takes off running. Arj, like he just runs right by Arj, like almost knocking him over in his rush to get out, and you see him disappear into the distance. He doesn't run towards the manor, he runs just out of town.
Just home.
I look with the direction he goes in disinterestedly and with a little gesture, like he didn't even say goodbye to me.
No. Well, that flirting, I guess, is what you were doing for nothing.
Eh. I was good cop, you were bad cop. That's what happened.
If you say so.
Okay, okay, Eve. All right, Eve. I see how you looking at me. I bring out my mage hand.
Whip out mage hand.
And I just start wiggling in front of his face. Just wiggle the mage hand in front of his. I see you. I see what you're looking at me like.
Grasp my nuts for critical damage.
I don't need the mage hand for that one.
I feel like that should be an automatic advantage roll, aiming for the nuts.
I mean, a lot of people have cod pieces.
Evandor is automatically on the spot going to assume that Yarno is the leader of these motherfuckers.
Yeah, I was thinking that too, but it seemed like a weird. It just seems like.
It doesn't matter to me. Right now, I'm
why would that be?
With like, I'm gonna get vengeance on this motherfucker.
Oh, he's about to level up. He's about to evolve into his next form. Don't press B. Don't press B. You'll surprise him. You gotta evolve.
Yeah, I'm just thinking about just like Yarno betrayed everybody, and I'm gonna get vengeance on Yarno. Like my character automatically assumes this.
I'm confused because it's
Yarno,
like
that motherfucker.
Yarno was supposed to come help the town, and then it's like
yeah. So both Yarno and Sildar are members of a group called the Lord's Alliance.
Oh.
So yeah, the Lord's Alliance is a political organization that unites the free cities and towns of the north. Because the way this continent is set up is there's no countries. It's just cities that are run by mayors. And so the Lord's Alliance was set up after a couple wars to kind of get them to work together and encourage trade. And so Sildar and Yarno were sent to because this town isn't really run by anyone in particular. They elect a Townmaster, but he's essentially a figurehead. So they were sent to kind of civilize the town. And Yarno was sent out first,
Yarno.
And then when they didn't hear back from him, they sent Sildar to find him.
Of course. So automatically I'm assuming Yarno's gone rogue.
Hey Eve, what are the chances that Yarno's like being mind controlled or something?
I don't care.
Well, I'm good with that. I'm okay. Listen, if we find out Yarno's leader of the Red Brands, you can kill him. You know, I'm not gonna look at you funny. I don't care.
Yeah.
But I want that class stat.
I'll question him for a little while. But if he gives me any notion of corruption, I'm destroying him. If I try to disguise myself, would I still be able to wear my scale mail and then disguise myself over that, or would I have to take off my scale mail?
No, I mean these guys were wearing like it was patchwork, but they were wearing armor underneath. They're just like capes essentially with a hood.
Leah starts talking strategy with Eve about this freaking Red Guard disguise business because it's like we know they sent 4 people over here. Now we don't.
Who did you give the cloaks to? Sorry.
Me, Leah, and Arj.
Arj kind of looks down at the cloak and then he looks at you like, "What the fuck am I gonna do with this?"
Yeah, Leah also looks concerned because
he says, "Oh, that's right, he's a dragon.
He's a dragon and I'm a girl. They sent 4 guys."
He looks down at himself, up at you, just like, "What the fuck?"
It doesn't matter. We could be like, "Oh, we saw these people get defeated by the adventurers." It doesn't matter.
Well, he it just won't fit him. He said.
No. I know. I'm talking to Leah about that.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if you're a girl.
We should have asked that kid how they get recruited.
He's long gone.
Yeah, I know he's gone, but that's where we should have asked him.
Just run and be like, "We have news about the scouts in here, Woodworker's house."
Because what we might have been able to do is like Eve pretends he was here already and he was like out recruiting new people, and that's why we have cloaks and we know they've never seen us before.
We could literally just run in a panic and be like, "The adventurers are attacking," and then try to get to the leader. He was gonna set up shop in the Townmaster's hall.
Yeah.
We're right there. Can I go see if I can find them in there?
Yeah, sure. You walk in and you see Sildar kind of just off to the side where the main guy's desk is, just kind of like hunched down over another desk. And he looks up when you walk in, and he says, "Hello, I heard about your altercation outside of the woodworking hut."
Big Sildar, how much time do you think we have until they retaliate?
He says, "Well, I don't know that they'll." I don't know that they'll try anything, today. I think they're still bruised. They'll need to recoup, but you never know them with those bandits. I'm sure that their leader has heard of what happened and is plotting something, but strong adventurers like you, I'm sure, can handle it.
Is Townmaster around?
Nah, is he?
He's in you see like a light flickering in the office, but in the back, where
Alright,
he slammed the
alright,
door.
good. I
last
don't want
time.
to see that
We're
ugly
not-
mug.
I'm trying to think of a way to see if I can figure out a way to get Yarno out and into town.
I mean, I'm sure
I mean-
if we hung some Redguard corpses up in front of the mansion or something.
Not corpses, but like,
Declared.
I think that Yarno is Glassstaff, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, what if I say that the Lord's Alliance wants to speak to Glassstaff? Do you think that would bring him out if he is Yarno?
Are you asking me?
Are you
or-
trying to convince Are you trying to be like convincing that
um,
you're a part of the Lord's Alliance?
I'm just trying to bring him out, honestly, because at the same time, my plan, this is out of RP. My plan is to see if Glassstaff comes out, if the Lord's Alliance is mentioned, in which case I would want Sildar to see if he can rally any citizens to ambush him as soon as he walks out that fucking door.
I don't think that would work.
Honestly, yeah, I don't either, but I'm just going for a long shot right here.
Now your goal is to make it so Glassstaff comes out alone, or at least in front of a pack,
Yeah,
right? Rather than being
my
surrounded.
goal is for Glassstaff to come out without the fucking bugbears that are in the cellar. That's what I'm thinking about right now. Is for Glassstaff to.
I don't think we can get him out because up to this, people say they don't know about a wizard in town. People aren't very familiar with the leader either. There's only
Except
one
that
guy
it's
that knew his
Glassstaff.
name.
We
So-
only know about two wizards, Glassstaff and Yarno, and
Yeah,
they seem
but-
like the same person right now.
Yeah, but the point, my point is that Glassstaff never comes out. So why would he come out now?
What if we pretend to parlay?
Maybe. But the thing is, I mean, being the leader of a band of brigands, he immediately, my mind thinks, idiot. But he's a human wizard, and wizards are usually intellectual. So he might think that it's like if the adventurers ask for a parlay, he'll probably think, oh, it's probably a trap.
Thanks, Sorcerer. I'm glad
You're
to know
welcome.
he has 38 hit points.
It's not how many he has. I clicked the roll button to see what it would roll because I'm bored.
Thanks.
I don't think we can get him to come out. Like even with a parlay from the adventurers, he would still be on guard, real cautious. So
we're
like he'd
gonna
send other people out first, and
we're
he
gonna-
might send
okay,
someone
I
in his
mean-
place. What if
What?
we got the Townmaster to declare that it's like, oh, I'm surrendering to the Redbrands,
Yeah, what if we
and
got
then
him to say that-
Glassstaff comes out to the town square to meet with him, or to the
To, like,
Townmaster's hall or
take-
something.
Okay, this could work amazingly or immensely backfire on us.
Yeah. And it would be hard to get the Townmaster to agree to this cloak and dagger ploy anyways.
No, wouldn't he's a bitch.
Have we considered the possibility that the Townmaster is working with the Redbrand or has communicated with the Redbrand?
Personally, I have.
And can we figure that out?
I asked Leanne about it,
Mm-hmm.
and she said that he's just too afraid to do anything.
Okay.
He's a pussy.
Well, I mean, who would know if they're sending secret messages? Like, what if he
Yeah.
What if he like leaves a message in a pot behind a window of his office? No one ever notices. No one's ever back there to see it.
Should we interrogate him? I'm gonna ask Sildar if he's suspicious.
Let's
I'm
ask
gonna-
Sildar. Yeah.
Before I do anything,
What are you asking, Sildar?
I'm asking Sildar if has any suspicions about the Townmaster working with the Redbrand.
Yeah.
You say that, and Sildar just laughs. He says, I don't think there's any chance that old fool would be working with him. He's terrified of them. I mean,
Yeah, that's what I mean.
and he-
Like, because he's so scared, is he like,
No, he tolerates their presence because he's afraid, not because he's working with them.
Back to the plan of like surrender.
We'll knock on the Townmaster's door.
You see, like the window gets dark as like a figure appears in it, and you hear as the door swings open. What do you want?
We have a plan to get rid of the Redbrand, and I know they've been a kind of a thorn in your side.
He says, a thorn? I mean, no, they're nothing more than a... I mean...
They're just friendly chums.
Don't pretend like what
They're
happened.
just a mercenary guild. They're not that much trouble, really.
Don't pretend like we didn't see you flustered in front of the woodworker's house.
He just says, I have half a mind to kick you out of town. You're causing much too much trouble.
If
Why
you
would
Leave
kick
the
them out
Red
of
Brands
town,
alone.
They will take over.
He brushes that off. No, the townspeople would never allow that.
Oh, great, good.
They won't,
Not
but he
him.
will.
The townspeople.
Yeah, they won't, but he will.
Well, I mean, I consider myself
Oh
a
my
towns
God.
member.
Alright,
I
I'm
live
gonna
in
grab
town.
him by the chest
Leah
and I'm
freaking
gonna
face palms.
intimidate him into listening to every fucking word I have to say.
Okay, give me an intimidation check.
Can I assist him on that, man?
No.
Dang it.
Can assist me with like magically fire.
Yeah, do
things
some
in his hands?
prestidigitations. A poof of
Like, just,
fire
you know,
falls out like rage.
Be angry and just.
Hey,
Yeah,
oh,
okay,
his eyes
sure.
light.
You
His
wanna
eyes look
cast-
like they're on
yeah.
fire. His
Sure.
eyes.
Yeah, so I mean, you
Well.
grab him. You go to lift him up, and you realize how heavy he's grossly
I'm not trying to
overweight.
lift him.
No, I
I'm-
know, but like you grab him by the neck, and like you're about to lift him over your head and stare into his eyes, and you're like, oh god, this guy's fat.
I'm not trying to lift him.
And he looks into your eyes that are now glowing red because of prestidigitation. Blah, blah. He just shuts up. He stops talking.
Listen up. You're
He
gonna
doesn't say
send.
anything. He just stares at you.
Yeah, I know. You're gonna send him a message. saying
Who?
that you
Send
want...
who a message?
Shut the fuck up. You know I'm talking about the Redbrand.
He goes, how would I send them a message? I have no
Oh my
contact
God.
with them.
Be quiet. I headbutt him.
All right, give me a strength check. The impact of your head smashes into his, and his eyes go limp, and he collapses to the floor unconscious.
Damn it, why am I so strong? This is not what I wanted.
As this happens, Sildar stands up and he stares at you like, "What have you done?"
He asked for it.
What are you doing? And
He
he says,
asked for it.
he says, I mean, what did you expect? There's no way of him to contact anyone. They don't. He never leaves he never leaves the manor, let alone has contact with anyone.
All
No,
I
not
wanted
contact.
was a letter with his signature, but he wouldn't shut the fuck up.
I mean, we just want him to surrender to the Redbrands.
All I needed from him was a letter, and he just wanted to keep
So
talking
when you
and
say
babbling
surrender,
about
when
how
you
he
say
didn't know
surrender to the
anything.
Redbrands, Sildar, what do you mean surrender to the
It's
Redbrands?
a
They have no demands.
ploy.
We're trying to get the Glassstaff man to come out, and this is like the only way to
Sildar
get him
laughs.
out.
Sildar laughs. He says he'll never leave. Even he says even if you could get a message to him, which you could not, he would never. He's a clever man. He's outwitted us at every turn. There's a reason the Lord's Lion sent me.
I told you wizards are smart.
What do you think we should do, Sildar?
He says, well, I mean, violence should be met with violence. If these brutes want to fight, I say bring them one.
Okay, you want to come with?
And his bravado kind of fades, and he says, I think my talents would be better spent here.
So
As defending, and then you see a little like glint in his eye, and he says, I will remain here and ensure that the Redbrands who are not engaged with you don't get up to any funny business.
Sildar, do you not feel any stronger ever since that goblin encounter?
Don't even look at him in the eyes. I just walk away.
Sildar rushes over and picks up attempts to pick up the Townmaster and kind of
Can't look
brush him off.
Alright, fair enough,
and,
Sildar. You do you.
What time is it?
You look up. I mean, it's about midday. Not that much time has passed.
Seriously, with like the fight and going to the orchard and then going to the woodworker
days
house
are
and the
long.
interrogation.
I mean,
like,
the fight took literally like not even a minute.
Not
know,
even a
like-
minute. I turn to Eve, and I go, since our only option is to go after Glassstaff, what do you think? Maybe we get to the cellar door and we just throw explosive barrels or a fireball or something. We set the thing on fire. Cook them. Let's cook them.
have those things, and what if
Maybe
they have
Barthen has
prisoners?
oil. Oh,
What if they
snap,
have
prisoners. Oh
prisoners?
yeah, that's right. The missing girl. Good
Missing
looking out.
everybody.
Good looking out, Eve.
Everybody's missing right now.
Technically, it's still possible that Yarno is just missing. Maybe one wizard befuddled the other. Now Yarno's a prisoner.
Maybe, but I still think it's Yarno.
Hey, you know. All right.
Shit.
Well, I
maybe
guess we're
just-
back to the disguise plan, right?
It'd be stupid to take a long rest. Should we ask Elian if anyone would be willing to help us try to take out the Redbrand? She is the outfitter of the town.
Yeah, she might even be able to lend some of the townspeople some arms in the event of,
Like a
a
revolt.
big battle. It's just like the beginning of Fallout New Vegas.
Basically. So, do you want to go to Leah while I go to the Miners Exchange?
What are you going to the Miners Exchange for?
It's info.
All right.
It was mentioned. So I'm gonna be like, you know what? We don't have much time.
So you guys split up. Arj goes with you, Soul, and
Okay.
so you guys you walk in.
Wait. I feel like we'd be ambushed.
All right. So I say, come with me, Dragon Man.
Yeah. So I'm gonna be like, all right, you know what?
Del Taco, you go with Eve.
I'm not, like, as I'm walking away, I'll be like, wait. Sildar said this wouldn't go unnoticed. I'm gonna turn around and I'm gonna go with Leah.
Oh.
Okay. So where are you guys going?
Lionshield Coster.
With Lionshield Coster.
Oh, okay. So yeah, so you guys you walk in and you see Leanne there, and she says, "Oh, welcome back. I see you made quick work of those ruffians," and she kind of gives you a little wink and a smile. She says, "What can I do for you?"
What race is Leanne?
She is a human.
I just realized we never stopped by the smithy. It was right at the beginning of town, and we just went right past it.
We're planning tomorrow morning at the latest to somewhat mount an assault on the Redbrand.
She smiles. That sounds like the town would be very grateful. Why are you looking for arms and armor? Because she sweeps her arm. We have plenty of that.
Not as much for me, but more for the townspeople. I want to know if they can be protected, just in case, the people in the Sleeping Giant try to retaliate. I don't want anyone to get hurt. At the very least, I want people to be protected.
She laughs and she says, and then she kind of realizes you're serious, and she goes, "Oh, well, I mean, I don't know that that's necessary. First off, I don't have near enough armor to outfit these people, let alone."
I don't mean the
But
entire
well, I
town.
mean, it's not like the entire town is gonna be willing.
She says, "I mean, I don't know that really they would even know what to do with these. Most of them are simple farmers or miners. I mean, they do all right in a fist fight, but they wouldn't know how to handle my wares."
If you can swing a pick, you can swing an axe.
She smiles and she said, "Well, that is true, but I would argue that the person who can swing a pick would be better with a pick than one of my axes if they've been before."
You know what I mean, yeah. Okay. Yeah, I just want to make sure.
She says, these are hardy folk. This town was raised, and we've built our lives here. We can stick up for ourselves if the Redbrands try anything. But
all right, fair enough.
I'm not willing to risk my livelihood on that bet. I can't I can't just go giving away my wares for free. Half these people would never come back.
You're right. Didn't hurt.
All right, if you don't trust them that much, Leon, it's fine. Fair enough. We understand.
Wanted to make sure if people didn't get hurt.
Yeah.
While we went off into the
said, and then she starts thinking, and she says, "If you were to tell me when you were going, I could pass word around and make sure that the town was prepared in case retaliation did come."
That's mostly what I wanted. Just people to be prepared.
And she kind of turns to one of the see like a gnome working in the back and kind of nods, and the gnome scurries off, and she says, "All right, I'll let them know." And you get the sense that the message has been passed on.
Yeah, so by at least tomorrow morning.
She said the townspeople can take care of themselves, fairly well enough, and Sildar's gonna be back here too as the backup.
He's a bitch, is what.
Yeah, well, just a little bit though. Come on, he's not that bad. But I'm wondering, obviously, what?
He still has a broken arm and shit.
Oh, his arm's broken.
Oh, I didn't know that. I thought he was just being a bitch.
Oh, snap.
Well, he has mental scars from being tied up as he hasn't talked about it, but those goblins clearly did.
I died.
All right,
no, you were knocked unconscious, which he was as well.
All right.
and
I mean, there were death saves.
Well, he.
All right, but fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
I'm much more conditioned than he is, but I still think he's a bitch. Which is because of my conditioning. I think he's a bitch.
It's like, yeah, if he was part of the Neverwinter Guard, he wouldn't be this weak.
Yeah, I'm just like, the guard wouldn't fit.
The Lord's Alliance must not be hiring good people.
I'm like mumbling to myself about my master. I'm like, he would just go run in there with one hand.
An idea just struck Leah. That rhymes. The Redbrands are obviously going to be mad about us slaughtering their men, burning one of them to a crisp, sniffing some ashes. Okay, that part didn't happen. but he's going to send... Glassstaff's never going to leave the cellar, but he is going to send people to come into town, probably, soon.
And if we can whittle them down...
So what if we were to hide out kind of close to the manor, and as soon as we see some Redbrands heading into town, then that's our chance to... They have a weaker guard in the manor.
I'll be right back. You guys can keep discussing amongst yourselves. I'm just gonna grab a drink.
But they'll have a weaker guard in the cellar because they sent some people out, and then the townspeople will be able to defend themselves to some extent. And even though Sildar's kind of weakened, he could probably at least do some tactics or alert.
You're looking at the map, right?
Hmm.
You think we should hide in like this house or this house?
Yeah, something like that, like these bushes or this house.
Just hide out, like just walk right through.
Somewhere where like the Redbrands wouldn't be able to see us hide.
They're gonna have lookouts probably at the sleeping. No, I mean they're getting drunk and beating each other up, so I doubt anyone's gonna be watching.
That's something.
So we could just like, chill out right here and then wait for like a patrol to come by and then try some shit.
Because when they're gonna send people out to look for us or something, so we could wait for that moment and either ambush them or let them pass and let the townspeople keep them preoccupied while we take on the cellar, because there'll be less people in the cellar now.
I like that idea.
To prevent the possibility of getting ambushed or missing when the patrol comes, since Arj is feeling better than us, he could just do a short rest and be a lookout.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. Like we'd rotate, obviously. Like we, take watch. Like one person would rest for a while, take watch, and it would add up to a long rest. We could get the jump on them in the manor, since they'd probably still be sleeping or just waking up, if that. Because it'd be like 4 in the morning, maybe.
The only thing is, I'm sure it's well guarded, so it's even if they'd be kind of sleepy, as soon as a patrolman or a guard at the front notices, probably ring a bell and everyone will be awake anyways.
Better than the middle of the day.
Yeah. I don't know. I think even if they don't send anyone out, I think we should just keep waiting.
And besides, a lot of people would be drunk from the sleeping giant.
Oh yeah, sure. Well, hopefully the sleeping giant people are gonna stay in the town with the new group that stayed out.
That's fine.
So we basically divide and conquer.
Yeah, so no one's gonna be back at the manor. People are gonna be like out drinking at the giant.
Most of the day, none of them really have any. And this is what you've learned, like from all the people you've talked with. None of them really, like, think about the big plan. They're just like, most of them are like, 20 to 30, having the time of their lives, just fucking shit up.
Tell us what these buildings are right here.
Yeah, what are these buildings?
We quickly ask what these little buildings are.
On the other side of the
Sildar or someone.
I mean, you guys would have to get a little closer.
Yeah, so can we go to Alderleaf Farm? Can I knock on their door?
That's kind of random.
Sure. Sildar points you over there. You guys walk down the road. You see a big, a little, like a big house with the farmland going off into the distance behind you. You knock on the door, and the door opens, and there's no one there. And then you look down, and you realize it's a halfling.
Oh.
Who's just looking up at you. And she says, she says, oh, hello. I've heard quite a bit about you. Oh, please come in. And she kind of like she's slapping you on the back of the leg, trying to get you in the house. And you walk in, and she sits you down at a table, and she said, "Can I get you anything? Tea, coffee?" And before you can answer, she's already off into the kitchen, and you hear banging of pots and pans.
Leah has a warm expression on her face because she knows halflings are cool and chill.
In a little bit, she comes back with two or 4 big cups of tea, and she sets them down, and she says, "Oh, we've heard quite a bit about you now. Well, what brings you to our humble farm?"
Well, I thank her. She brought tea.
Oh, she said R. Who else? Who else may be here?
Well, and as you say that, you see a even small for halfling, like it looks to be maybe 10 years old, kind of runs through the kitchen, screaming and playing with a little ball and stuff. And she says, "Oh well, I live here with my son Carp. He's a spirited fellow." And she kind of pauses for a moment, and she says, "Actually, You are the adventurers we've heard so much about, right?
Nope.
Yes.
And
I mean, yes.
and she says, "Well, Carp. Now he has so much energy. Let me tell you. But a couple days ago, he came running back, complaining about big ugly bandits, and he said." And I told him not to play near the manor because we've all heard the stories, but I can't control him. And he kept going on and on about a tunnel that he found in the woods. And he says a couple of big ugly bandits came out of the tunnel and met with a pair of Redbrands, with the ones with the cloaks. And he's sure they didn't see him, but knowing my Carp, it was close. He is just infatuated with adventurers, and he's convinced that they have some sort of secret lair under the old manor house. And as she says this, Carp runs up and he says, "Yeah, I'll show you if you want." And he's bouncing up and down. She kind of pushes him down so he's not bouncing, and she says, "Maybe later, honey. You go run and play with your balls," and takes off running. And he's
never
gone
mind.
in a couple seconds.
What the
playing
fuck?
with the
He's
ball.
just gone.
And she says, "Oh, I'm so
something.
sorry about him. He's so rambunctious."
I was getting ready to give him my shield and be like, "Here, you could play with this. You're a brave boy," but never mind.
I play a prank on him. I make a flower show up in the corner of his eye, and when he looks, it's gone.
He's way out of the room now. He's
Dang it.
already forgotten about you guys. And so now she turns to you and she says, I'm sorry about him. He loves adventurers.
No, that's
We
Wait,
don't
so
get many of your type around these parts." He described them as big ugly bandits.
so.
well,
Bugbears.
yeah.
Who knows? He's a little kid. He doesn't.
Or
All you know is
honestly.
fucking wolves, and they weren't Redbrands.
Yeah,
As far as he
either
knows, a
way,
scarecrow.
He said that there was a tunnel in the woods. So what was I'm sorry, I didn't get your name.
She says, "Oh, I'm so sorry. How rude of me. My name is Quelline."
I'm Evander. This is Leah, Arj, and Benjamin Button.
"I'm so pleased to meet you."
Benjamin
And-
Button.
And she goes around like shaking her hands, and she gets to Arj, and she just looks up at him, and
He's friendly.
she had held out her hand, and she realizes that the height difference is too much, and she just kind of pats him on the knee and says, "Very nice to meet you."
Leah giggles.
We all giggle. I'm just so massive.
Arj gets a sweat drop. He gets one of those anime things with like blue lines on his face.
She kind of pauses and then says, "Oh, I'm sorry. I never asked why you were here."
Well-
we wanted to. Or Leah, go ahead.
Well, we were here, to ask you about some buildings, but now we're here for your son because he knows a secret tunnel in the woods.
We're not
and
gonna.
when
We're
you-
not about to get her son to show us.
Yeah,
We're
when
just
you
a
mention that,
description.
she kind of says,
It's
"Oh,
a description.
I don't think he could find his way back. I mean, and
We
he's
don't need
just,
him to go
he's
out.
Just 10,
We don't need him to go out.
Like,
Just
look,
give us
don't
like
worry.
an idea of
When-
where.
and- But when
We'll
when
go.
you mention asking about kind of buildings in the area, she says, "Well, I don't get out too much with taking care of the farm and all, but my friend is a druid, and she is very familiar with the woods. She might be able to help you."
What does that have to do with the building?
Where does this druid friend of yours reside?
"Oh, well, I mean, druids. They don't like to stay in one place long, but
A common place to find her somewhere.
well,
A trunk in the woods.
Last I heard, she was in Thunder Tree.
Oh God.
You've heard of Thunder Tree, right? She kind of
Yes.
looks at you
Thunder
expectantly.
I have. I lived in Neverwinter.
Yeah, and so she turns up to you, Leah, because she notices that you look kind of confused, and she's, "Oh, Thunder Tree is a city just west of or just east of Neverwinter, just on the border of the woods."
Well, Quelline, we don't really have time to go travel that far. Do you know if the druid is recently around here? Because if she knows this area, then she must travel here sometimes.
Oh no, she doesn't know anything about the town. She stays with me.
It's
How-
like we just need her son to be like it's over to this side of the woods, and
They're not gonna have some underground miners tunnel shit going on. It's gonna be straight into the fucking mountain, right over here.
Oh, you think it's gonna be in the cliffside? Okay,
Probably. I mean,
Alright,
they're not
fair
gonna
enough.
have some intricate shit. I hope.
fair enough.
Bandits. They're not like wizards.
They have a dwarven entrance there. You can't see it unless it's in the moonlight.
You enter the tree trunk in this tree, and then like. No, and it was a meeting place, so it's gonna be pretty obvious like where the tunnel is. There are a couple of buildings north of your farm. Not as far as the Sleeping Giant, but on the other side of the street. Do you know if anyone lives there, or if we could use them to rest? And
She says,
kind
"Oh
of
no."
keep an eye on the road.
She says, "Oh, those are just houses. Yeah, there's families that live in there. I haven't met them because, like I said, I've been so busy. But I see people coming in and out there all the time. They've got kids that play with all the time."
Shit, there was.
Alright, so what do you think? No, Eve. We could still we could ask them, and if they're cool with the idea of us using their house, and then we could have them like. I'm sure for the sake of a plan to get rid of the Redbrands, Quelline here, would happily put up with a family, an extra family for a night.
Yeah, we could rest with her.
No, I mean, like, we have the family
road.
move out from that house for a night and stay with Quelline, and we stay in that house so we can keep an eye on the road.
That would... Yeah, but wouldn't people notice an entire family moving out for the night?
Yeah. I'm just saying, it's still possible. It's still possible.
Right in front of the Sleeping Giant.
She hears you guys talking about, like, houses, and she says, "If you need a place to stay, you can use my barn."
You know what? If that's as close as we're going to get to the manor, and actually, I really want to look into the woods that your kid was talking about. So I would really appreciate that, actually.
Sure.
Not a problem with you.
She leads you out into the it's like it's a little hay loft.
Yeah, but something.
Got 4 walls and a door, no beds, but she lays out some hay, and pulls out a couple sacks and stuffs them full of hay and for pillows, and then she sends Carp off, her son, to run and grab some blankets and gives those to you, and then finally she brings out a candle and sets it up in there so you have some light. And she says, "Just call if you need anything," and she just kind of starts walking back to the house.
From
Do we
here,
have
is there a way to
vantage?
see at least that spot?
Yeah.
To see if they come down from the manor?
Like, if someone lights a torch and starts walking down that road, would we be able to see it?
From there, you're kind of on the top of a hill. I mean, you got a lot of trees in the way, and
these motherfuckers.
it's a fair distance, but I mean, you'd notice like a big party of people with lights at night.
All right.
Yeah. So I guess we're gonna.
So Eve, do you think we should still, be looking for that entrance in the woods?
Honestly, I feel like we should rotate shifts just in case they try to do something to the town. We should protect them.
Sure, but when we're
could
ready
be our fault.
when we're ready to move,
Yeah.
do you want us to go into the woods to find that entrance, or do you want to try to sneak up the mountain while the patrol is gone? After the patrol passes by.
I think they would much least expect the wood entrance.
All right.
I'm pretty sure they don't think that tunnel is a weak point at the moment.
All right.
But they will soon.
Just before the end, they'll finally know.
Yeah. So I guess we're going to take a long rest. We're going to rotate shifts to keep an eye on the town, make sure nothing bad's going on.
All right, so you guys settle into the hay. Arj takes first watch. He just paces around, climbs up onto the roof and lays down some hay and kind of keeps watch out over.
Does this quarterstaff have any special properties?
Mm-hmm.
Probably not.
If you hit somebody really hard with it, it hurts.
Oh yeah, that's incredible.
So a couple hours go by. You hear Arj climb down off the roof and tap Delgado on the shoulder, and he goes up, keeps watch. Couple more hours go by. Delgado doesn't see anything. He comes down and he wakes up. He wakes Leah up, sends her up. Can you give me a perception check, Leah?
What the?
Yeah. So Leah's up on top, just kind of keeping watch.
And she notices a butterfly.
Staring off into the distance until she realizes that she's facing the wrong way. She's actually looking this way. So she turns around and focuses back on there. But a couple hours go by. You see people coming out of the Sleeping Giant and into going to their houses and stuff, stumbling home drunk.
Why is Leah so bad at perception? I don't understand.
A couple hours pass. It's a few hours to sun up. Leah, your watch is over, so you go down. You wake up. Evan climbs up. Can I get a perception check from you, Evan?
Oh,
Evan
yeah.
knows what direction he should be looking and starts looking that way right at the start. You see a couple people walk from the giant to the manor, but only one or two, and they actually return pretty much immediately, stumbling drunk into various houses and here and there. You see what you think is a couple torches, but it's just a trick. It's bouncing off like a puddle and reflecting. And the sun starts to come up, and nobody saw anything in the night, and no screams were heard throughout the town. As far as you can tell, they didn't really do anything. As you're waking up, the little gnome comes in and covering her eyes just in case, and in her hand she has some hot coffee and some fresh eggs. And she says, I hope you like eggs. I took the liberty of making you some breakfast. And she gives each of you 2 eggs, and then you see that she has like 12 eggs cooked, and she puts those in front of Arj, and she just is like staring up at him, and then she kind of leaves.
I love halfling on hospitality. It's so good. It's so good.
We'll have breakfast.
I eat an egg.
It's a very good egg.
While
I go yum.
While people are having breakfast, I'm gonna run up. I'm gonna knock on Queline's door. Hope she answers.
Yeah, I mean she just brought you breakfast, so she opens it right away.
You still have an egg in your mouth.
Oh, is there something wrong with the eggs?
No, everything is perfect. Thank you so much. You know, you've taken a great risk by letting us stay in your barn.
I mean, we were kind of bodyguards for her in a way.
Yeah, she turns old. I mean, I enjoy the company. We don't get many strong adventurers like you guys.
I just wanted to thank you. You know, we're gonna go into the woods soon, and I just wanted to give you this as a token of our thanks for what you've done for us. And I'm gonna hand her 10 silver pieces.
And she takes it. And oh no, please! I don't need this.
I insist.
And she says, "Oh well, thank you very much." All right. And she says, "Is there anything else I can do?"
No, I think, you know, we're okay. We're gonna head into the woods. We're gonna try to find that tunnel, and hopefully we'll have the red brand out of your hair soon enough.
She says, "Oh well, that would be a treat." And she goes back in the house, smiling.
Sweet. So, I guess off we go, gather the party and
Leah's stretching. Yeah. Leah's confused. Like, I thought the red brands would come by now.
As you're watching, you watch as Arj reaches into his pouch and pulls out a hard-boiled egg that he had slipped in there and starts eating it.
The 12 eggs weren't enough?
No, that is one of the eggs.
Oh. I don't know why in my head I just thought they were scrambled or sunny side.
All of yours were. All of yours were, but Arj's were hard-boiled.
Oh.
She didn't know what to do, so she started.
Just give him a lot of eggs.
He eats it with the shell, too. It's okay.
Oh yeah, he didn't peel it or anything. He just popped the whole egg in his mouth.
Yeah.
Leah looks at him and just kind of nods a little bit like, neat.
Now we know hard-boiled eggs.
He turns to you and goes,
Leah laughs,
shooting out of his mouth as he tries to tell you how good the eggs are. So you guys, you hop the little, you just climb over the rubble here, kind of of the kind of demarks the old the borders of the old town, and you head into the forest. The trees press very close together. It's really difficult to see where you're going. Can I get a perception check from whoever's in front?
I'll go in front. I'm good with woods or something. Don't be 8.
Natural 20,
be 8.
Natural 20, natural
Don't be
20.
8. Well.
Yeah, so you're...
We can't like follow the hill. We can't like follow it on the hill.
Well, I think he just wants us to notice something, or not notice something, rather.
I mean, you could. Are you walking along there?
Yeah, because Eve thinks that the entrance is gonna be jutting out of the hill.
Probably.
Sure. So you kind of you follow the rock
close
juts up
close enough where we're not
left.
like right there, but like, you know, in the woods where we can see the hillside.
Yeah. So the trees press really close together. So if you get more than like 20 feet away, it disappears behind the trunks and stuff.
Fine. You know, I just want to have a general vision.
Yeah. So Leah, who's in front, who's kind of familiar with woods of most sorts, you look for any sign of a trail. There isn't even like animal trails really. You don't see any sign of footprints or I mean an entrance to anything. And the woods stretch a long ways, and even though you're keeping the thing pretty close, you there's a couple times where you realize you're turned around and you have to kind of right yourself again. You're not lost, but you're not.
All of a sudden, it's on my right instead of my left.
Well, like you have to turn right to go around some like a thick bush of trees, and you realize that you lost your sense of direction. You have to just reorient yourself every now and then.
Still a little groggy from waking up.
It's really thick trees, and you don't see any sign of any entrance or anything.
That kid is a liar.
As far as we know, it was in the middle of the woods, not the cliff. I don't know.
The kid
Why
said that
haven't they acted yet?
Because they're waiting for us inside the manor, probably.
They're just gonna wait. They're just turtle strat.
Maybe, honestly.
Yeesh.
I'm just afraid of running into the manor and just being like, hey, look, ambush 20 people.
If they're gonna be cowards about it, then I mean, we can just keep spending time looking in the woods then.
Oh God.
So you guys have been wandering around the forest for a couple hours now. No sign.
Couple of hours.
I'm starting to think Leah's oblivious in general. Like I've never seen a good perception check from Leah.
Well, it's hard to keep track of time when you're in the woods. The sun doesn't actually break through the
Are we here? Are we here? Are we like?
I mean, you spent the first bit kind of wandering up, like along this mountain, kind of trying to see. This isn't accurate. The distance, by the way.
That's only 10 feet.
It really is a halfling house. It is a halfling house.
Can I?
And then you kind of made your way through here, kind of looking like in this area.
How high is this?
You haven't found anything.
How high is the hill?
It's about
50.
like 20 to 30 feet.
Oh.
Pretty straight up.
God.
So it'd be like a tough climb.
You can tell that this was built. Like that would have been the mayor's house, and those the walls you climbed over were clearly like almost a castle type of thing. So that was built to be defensible.
Would a grappling is there any rocks?
Yeah,
on
you can climb up with your grappling hook. Yep.
Okay, cool.
Do you want to just give me an athletics check?
I want to try to like throw it so that everyone can climb up.
Yeah, well, give me an athletics check to throw the grappling hook up.
Motherfucker.
Yeah, so I mean
6.
It's not that high.
Hard.
You throw it up, and you feel it catch on a rock, and you kind of pull, and it comes loose. But you're able to get it up at the second time, and Arj grabs it from you and tests his weight, and it seems like it'll hold him.
Much better.
You're fine. You managed to scramble up, no problem.
Can I have my hands on the rope in case anything goes wrong while other people are climbing up?
Sure.
It's still attached to the rock, but I'm just gonna be like ready to, I'm one hand on the grappling hook that's not on the rock, and one hand on the rope.
Extra anchorage.
Arch.
Did the grappling hook break?
No, Arch tries to climb up. And,
does he not get advantage because I'm trying to help? Like,
no,
not at the top. And he
rolled a natural 1. Never mind.
Tries to climb up, and he gets about 2 feet off the ground, and then just like lets go of the rope. It looks like to you from the top, and he just plops down.
What?
Dazed, like looking up and looking around.
Leah is extremely confused.
and it looks like he ate way too much because he starts to kind of roll on the ground and looks like he might be sick.
Oh my god, dude. He got
check.
salmonella.
Constitution check right now.
No, after a while though, he's able to kind of right himself, and he eventually clambers up too.
Eventually. I guess Delgado first, so that no one looks up Leah's skirt.
Wrong one.
God. No, that's fine. He floats up.
That was Arcana.
He's not wearing a skirt.
Yeah, he floats right up. I don't know, man.
What do you mean his skirt?
Yeah, I mean Delgado is able to scramble up, no problem.
Even with his old bones.
I mean, he's only 28.
He's old.
Yeah, someone's got to explain to me why the 28-year-old has a longer beard than Dumbledore.
Natural 1.
We did.
Yeah, and you don't have any trouble scrambling up. You get you get tired about halfway up, but you just take a bit of a rest.
Lee's not strong, guys.
So now we're all over here ish.
Yeah.
Where are we now? Can we tell like how far we are from the manor from here? Like whether we're here?
Yeah,
like...
I mean you can see the crumbling ruins of the manor from here.
This
you
right
see
here.
The top of the thing. To your right a little bit, you see kind of where it looks like the chimney of the manor kind of crumbled and some of the pieces fell over that that little cliff there. You think you could maybe clamber up some of the rubble, like right here?
How tall is that hill?
That's about slightly shorter than the other one, maybe about 15-20 feet. But that one's not as steep, and using the rubble, you could probably get up without too much trouble.
So grappling hook would be a waste?
I mean, it wouldn't really add much.
Also, is the group okay with us just kind of like going up this way since we couldn't find the cave?
I don't care.
Yeah, so Evan is able to scramble up the boulders pretty well.
I'm tossing
leaps from one to the other, and manages to pull himself up. And as you kind of peek up, give me a perception check. Yeah, so as you peek up, you keep your eyes open for anything. You don't see any movement or any groups of people anywhere. Leah?
I'm about to get backstabbed. Can I throw a rope down to help them up just in case? Like, would that give them advantage or not?
Sure, yeah.
Okay, so I'm throwing the 50-foot rope. I'm just laying it down, wrapping it around my hand, just in case.
Yeah, so just make your checks with advantage, Leah. Yeah, so Leah grabs onto
with
the
that
rope,
elven grace.
clambers up, no problem. Make a perception check.
Oh my god, I noticed something for once. I noticed there was nothing to notice.
So Leah, you look around, you don't see any people, but you notice you're kind of looking at the manor. You see a lot of tracks leading to a stone staircase. It looks to be just off the empty ruin of what used to be a kitchen. And looking down, you see what looks to be an unlocked door, and kind of it's slightly ajar. And behind you see what looks like a cellar.
I think I know where the cellar is, guys.
Delgado clambers up the rope. Yeah, Arj, no problem as well. He clambers up. Still winded from his first issue, but now pretty good.
Right. I feel like soon we're
He eats an
gonna
egg.
get into combat. He eats another egg. Should we stop here and pick up tomorrow with Kat?
We can call it here. It's been a while anyways.